Good morning, 5 o'clock now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We have 45 degrees this morning. Yeah, it's a little chilly, and we're only going to get to 49 later today. We've got the full forecast coming up. Police are right now actively searching for an inmate who escaped while being transported in Franklin County. 23-year-old Tony Sweeten had escaped around 8:30 last night in the area of Highway 127 and Wattendorf Highway. That's right at the Franklin and Coffee County line. Police believe he is still in the wooded area near where he escaped. The Democrat Pennsylvania election official who defied the state Supreme Court's ruling on counting faulty ballots has now apologized.
We all say things that are out of turn. We all make mistakes. I made a mistake. And because I am an elected official, I am held to a far higher standard than everybody else.
That's Diane Ellis Marseglia, who said that the passion in her heart got the best of her. That's not enough, though, for Montana Senator Steve Daines, who spoke on Fox News yesterday.
She didn't just make a mistake. She broke the law. Somebody got to prosecute what she did. She broke the law. They had to go in and arrest her for breaking the law. This lawlessness right in front of the American people is what causes so much concern. Literally, the Democrats trying to steal an election in Pennsylvania. It's not going to happen on our watch. Dave McCormick will be sworn in January. I guarantee that.
Several Pennsylvania counties continued their recount in the U.S. Senate race between incumbent Democrat Bob Casey and Republican challenger Dave McCormick. And former talk show host Ellen DeGeneres has reportedly had it with the United States, and she's moved to rural England with her wife, Portia de Rossi, following President-elect Donald Trump's victory. The Wrap reports that the couple will put their Montecito, California estate on the market soon. Market Numbers Report now brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Here's Dave Packer.
Markets were mixed in another roller coaster day on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained almost 140 points in late trading, boosted by expected earnings results from tech leader NVIDIA. The S&P 500 was even at the end of trading, and the Nasdaq Composite sank 21 points. Target lost more than a fifth of its value after a dim forecast for the holiday shopping season. Comcast announced it will spin off many of its cable television outlets as more TV viewers move from cable TV to streaming services. Networks to be let go include USA, Oxygen, CNBC, and MSNBC. Peacock and Bravo, which provide a large share of content for Peacock streaming, will remain. Ford announced it will cut over 4,000 jobs in Europe and the UK by the end of 2027. The automaker blaming increased competition and weak sales of electric cars. Ford said most of the job cuts would come in Germany, where it will also reduce hours for workers at the plant that makes the Capri and Explorer electric vehicles.
Stock futures all pointing down this morning, and that's the latest news. Traffic and weather are still to come. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. The roads are looking really good this morning. There are no delays on the major roads heading into Nashville. Also, we do have construction set up in a couple of spots this morning, and you know where those spots are. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Information fueled,
opinion driven. This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
we talk news.
5:06, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on in. Along with Joan Jones, Johnny B, Dan Mandis here indeed. How are your friends? It is Thursday. Not Friday yet. I woke up this morning, I'm like, gee, is it really only Thursday? We got one more day. I'll throw down Friday Eve. Matt Murphy, go kick a puppy. Whatever. Anyway, headline, liberal judges are being confirmed in the Senate. Donald Trump is really ticked, and a lot of folks on the conservative side really should be. Now, what's happening is senators, and this is the headline, Trump rages as absent Senate Republicans help confirm Biden judges. Now, you know these judges, this is really important. Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell, they had a lot of differences. The one thing that they could agree on was getting these conservative judges confirmed when Donald Trump was in office. Now, Joe Biden is doing the same thing. As a matter of fact, Biden is, I think it's 18 judges away from besting Donald Trump's record. And so what's going on is senators, including, of all people, one of my favorites, Ted Cruz, is not showing up for the confirmation process. And because they're not showing up, the Democrats are getting these liberal judges confirmed. And there are consequences to that. Because these are lifetime appointments. Democrats need a simple majority to confirm these judges. Right now, the Senate is tied 50-50. Kamala Harris would come in and break the tie. But if Republican senators don't show up, the judges simply get confirmed. Now, the reason why this is important is because Kamala Harris is in Hawaii. So if these Republican senators had showed up, Kamala Harris is in Hawaii, she would not have been able to break the tie. She couldn't have confirmed the judges. So these missing Republicans, had they been there, had they showed up for work, they could have blocked these liberal judges. So this is pretty huge, as a matter of fact. The two senators missing were Ted Cruz of Texas, Mike Braun from Indiana. J.D. Vance, by the way, of course, has been MIA as well, the incoming vice president. Tom Tillis is a Republican out of North Carolina. He is one of many conservatives who's really angry.
talking about a simple concept. I don't know. I think the American people's on board with me. We have to show up for work, right? I think we have to. You got to show up for work. We've got work to do here, and I understand there are all kinds of good reasons, but there's no excuse to let Chuck Schumer force these judicial nominations down our throat. We got to show up for work. They are my colleagues. They are my friends, but they are business associates first who have a job of making sure that we prevent Chuck Schumer from driving a lot of these judicial nominations that, if we're here, won't be successful.
By the way, remember, again, one of Trump's biggest accomplishments, he pushed through a record number of judges with Mitch McConnell, and now Joe Biden could very well break that record. Trump posting on X, the Democrats are trying to stack the courts with radical left judges on their way out the door. Republican senators need to show up and hold the line. No more judges confirmed before Inauguration Day. And he's right. Sometimes I wonder if whether it's in the House or the Senate, do they really understand what their job needs to be? I mean, look, I understand that we won the House, we won the Senate, we won the White House, but there's still work to do. And a lot of that is blocking these liberal judges. A guy named Embry Kidd earlier this week was confirmed by Democrats because of these missing Republicans. The rap on him is that he has 2 previous decisions reversed. Now, these were child sex cases that were incredibly lenient, the decisions. So the higher courts, they were like, no. And so they overturned this guy's decisions. And now he's received a promotion because Republicans simply were not there. And this dude, Embry Kidd, the one that was confirmed by the Democrats should be embarrassed and humiliated and appalled that this is Joe Biden's guy, that he wanted to be a judge, and now the Democrats have confirmed that he is going to be a judge, and the Republicans failed to show up. And by the way, here's the other thing. With those 2 incredibly lenient sentences in these child sex cases that the higher courts overturned, he lied about it. He actually lied about it. From the Associated Press, a judge in Florida tapped by President Joe Biden for a top federal court failed to disclose at least 2 child sex-related cases that saw his lenient rulings reversed until now. Embry Kidd, a judge in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Florida, is under fire from Republicans over his prior omission of the 2 cases on his nominee questionnaire, which was, of course, quietly updated this week to address the matter. Biden nominated Kidd back in May to fill a vacancy on the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which oversees courts in Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. And this dude, Embry Kidd, this guy Embry Kidd, basically, you know what he says? I mean, this makes no sense to anybody who has a lick of sense. But Joe Biden and the Democrats, mentally ill, he called child rape laws racist, basically. Embry Kidd helped shape a law review article that argued that child rape statutes, though not laden with the exact same racial baggage as more general rape statutes, are still racialized. That's unbelievable. And this is the person, thank God the American people came to their senses and voted this guy out. But this is the kind of stuff that Joe Biden and the Democrat Party promotes. Now, Joe Manchin voted no on Embry Kidd. All Republicans who turned out voted no, but simply put, more Democrats showed up for work. This is from the Hill. If all Republicans had shown up, and Senator John Fetterman, he was absent, and that absence held, the GOP would have defeated the nomination of Embry Kidd temporarily. If all senators had shown up, including John Fetterman, it would likely have forced a tie-breaking vote by Vice President Kamala Harris. But that's the frustrating part. That is the frustrating part. And so now Ted Cruz has come out, because remember, it was Ted Cruz and Mike Braun, 2 senators, Texas and Indiana, that failed to show up this week, along with J.D. Vance. And now Ted Cruz is on the defense, and he's saying, okay, I'm showing up for work. And now they're doing everything they can to block any further appointments and any further confirmations. But man alive, come on. I mean, right now, Republicans in the Senate, you've got one job, and that is to block the lifetime appointments of judges at this high level, this very high level, that believe that child sex rape laws are racist. That's what they need to do. Republicans literally have one job. It's to keep nut jobs like this out. And it's really not that hard. As you just heard Tom Taylor say, all you got to do, friends, all you got to do, Republicans, is literally show up for work. 5:15. Time to check the roads on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
No delays on the roads this morning. There is still construction. 2nd Avenue North between Demonbreun Street and Union Street. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you very much. 5:15 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Partly cloudy and windy, a high near 50. And we've got a special, Johnny and Joan, a very special public service announcement from the WTN newsroom. Joan, you wanted to let all parents across Middle Tennessee know to put a jacket on their kids.
Is it unbelievable? Is it just me?
So Joan doesn't know this because she's only been with us for a couple of months. But I have been railing Joan for years. Please, news people, don't tell me how to dress.
Yeah.
And I guess, I'm over that now, but I heard Joan and Johnny speaking earlier, and it was like Joan is going off on a monologue that I gave 5-6 years ago. Don't tell me how to put a jacket on. It's going to be cold.
I'm actually watching, the news this morning, and a local station, I won't say who they are, they have one of their reporters standing in front of a school bus saying, hey, it's cold outside. We're going to tell you how to dress the kids and keep them warm.
Oh, my Lord.
Are you kidding me? That's the news?
Joan, another one, I won't mention them, but when it was raining one morning, the traffic person comes on and goes, we've had rain overnight, so the roads are wet.
Oh, my gosh.
Really, I'm glad you're here to tell me.
It is stunning and unbelievable how stupid some of these media outlets think that the people of Tennessee are.
Well, in their defense, though, we do have people that throw coffee grounds into kitchen sinks, and they wonder why they clog.
That was the big controversy yesterday morning here at the radio station.
Yeah.
Is
who's the knucklehead?
Not me. I know better. So yeah, the sink was clogged up and it was all full of dirty water and
it looked like Old Faithful.
Looked like Old Faithful.
Yeah.
You missed it, Joan, but I pulled Johnny into the kitchen. I said, hey, Johnny, I got a magic trick for you. And so I
You did not.
I did. I turned on the disposal and all the water, kind of goes down the drain. And then I turned it off and the water comes spewing back up. I can create, Old Faithful right here in the kitchen of our radio station.
Children.
Complete with coffee grounds.
Complete with coffee grounds. That's right. You know what, Joan? We talk about very serious issues on Nashville's Morning News. If we want to be stupid, on occasion, off the air, like we are sometimes on the air, we could do that.
Well, sure. And there are people, too, that put ice trays back into the freezer without any water.
In the...
No.
You know what? Let's do this. During the 5:35 Gang of Three, let's go through the most annoying things, and I want the super texters to chime in as well. What's the most annoying things that you encounter working in the office?
Ooh.
Boy, that's a long list.
I know it is, but I want the super texters to chime in too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a long list, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some people here that do some things that really hack me off. So we're going to talk about it, and we'll find out what other people think too. That's why when I worked from home, it was great because I didn't have to deal with people, for example, cooking fish in the microwave.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh? You don't do that, do you, Joan?
I did it yesterday. I have to say, I really love having salmon in the morning, and I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
You
if I
cook
make it
fish
at
in the
night-
microwave?
I don't cook fish, but I just warm it up. But I keep the top on, and I keep the top on I carry it in here.
Oh, salmon's good.
I had no idea you did that.
So I thought you were calling me out. I thought that's what you were doing. Oh yeah, I did it yesterday, and you didn't even know because I try to be kind about it.
Well, at least you're considerate, I guess.
You're considerate, I guess.
But you know what? The second I smell that fish, I'm going to start calling you. I had no idea you did that. Microwaved fish. I don't even
It's like you put it in for 30 seconds, just enough to get it warm.
Right.
And it's so, I love salmon in the morning. I'm not sure why. It's just good. Good protein.
It's not quite napalm in the morning.
Right.
But it might as well be to somebody like me who hates the smell of fish. I like the taste of fish, but not the...
Yeah.
Not the aroma.
And I understand. That's why I keep it really closed and try not to.
Well, all right. So at
anybody.
least you're considerate. Anyway, so we'll talk about that during the 5:35 Gang of Three Amigos. 615-737-9986. So the Gang of Three. 615-737-WWTN. Did you hear, by the way, all of this is going on with Matt Gaetz, right? Attorney General. You've got J.D. Vance leading him through the Senate yesterday. Very big deal. Of course, Democrats are losing their ever-loving minds about all of this. And did you hear what one of the women that testified to this ethics committee said about Matt Gaetz. Did you hear what she said about him? She said he would make a great attorney general. Completely letting the air out of the balloon of the media and the and the Democrats and some Republicans as well. She says, I don't really want to talk about it, but Matt is extremely smart and he would make a great attorney general. And by the way, you know what else we find out about Matt Gaetz? He's bipartisan because she's a Democrat. But let's face it, in things like that, most men don't care. It is 5:22 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Again, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. You can always find us on Facebook and also X and YouTube. If you want to watch the radio show, feel free. Now, when Joan Jones is not microwaving fish in the workplace, she's doing news. Or when Joan Jones is not microwaving fish at work or openly yelling at local media outlets, she does our news, and Joan was coming up.
We'll tell you about a manhunt that's underway in Tennessee right now, and also we'll tell you about a win for the GOP in the House of Representatives, something to announce this morning. That's all coming up at 5:30 at Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
528, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you. I had a long day yesterday, man. Drove all the way to Kentucky to see my daughter and grandson. And what a great time. And I was shocked because I'm walking around Kentucky, right? I'm in a coffee shop. And somebody, believe it or not, recognized me in Kentucky, of all places. And not of all places, it's reasonably close, but, you know, like, hey, Mandis, what are you doing all the way out here in Kentucky? And he did talk like that. I'm not making fun. Just the way that he spoke. And I told him I'm here hanging out with my daughter for, half a day before I head back to Nashville.
Did he recognize you visually or by your voice?
Visually.
How about that?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Well, the damn camera's in here.
We're going to start calling you Elvis.
Oh, please. No. Yeah, and it's a great conversation, great guy. And, I don't know about you and Joan, I don't think you've reached people have been recognizing you as of yet, but eventually they will. And it's great because I love talking to people. And Johnny, you know what it's like. And we say this all the time where we, I've worked at a bazillion radio stations. Johnny, you have too. Joan, you have too. There is something special about this radio station and these listeners. And again, I know we say it all the time.
Yes.
I'm not going to go on and on. But Joan, you know.
I do. I've seen it before at one other radio station. Mm-hmm. And these people are amazing.
They do. I honestly, sincerely hope that this is the last radio station I ever work at.
Yep.
I do. All right,
me too.
529, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here, back to school time, of course. Every day, I thank the Lord for Xfinity Internet. Every night, we do homework, and every night, we do rely on Xfinity Internet. We can stay connected with Wi-Fi coverage that delivers the speed we need, and you can too. Now listen, homework at radio shows, don't wait for the Internet to work. You need a reliable connection, even when everyone is online and working. I rely on Xfinity. I have been a customer for years now. If there are issues, Xfinity has 24/7 customer service here for you whenever you need it with in-home Wi-Fi support. And if you're on the go, you can stay connected with over 20 million secure Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. So get the best Wi-Fi for your life, whether it's doing homework with the kids or work for the paycheck. Rock-solid internet is only a phone call away with Xfinity. To get started, tell him Dan told you to reach out. 1-800-XFINITY, 1-800-XFINITY, online, xfinity.com, or drop into an Xfinity store today for more details.
Good morning. It's 5:30 now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We've got your forecast and traffic still on the way. Well, there's a manhunt underway right now for an inmate that escaped a transportation van in Franklin County. 23-year-old Tony Sweeten is his name. He was being transported to Coffee County at the time of his escape last night. Now, the Manchester Police Department, Tennessee Highway Patrol, even the Arnold Air Force Base Police Unit, and the Tullahoma Police Department are assisting in the search. They believe Sweeten is still in a wooded area near the Franklin and Coffee County line. In Spring Hill, a 19-year-old riding a bicycle was struck and killed by a large passenger bus last evening. This happened on Campbell Station Parkway, west of Main Street. Police were able to say that 19-year-old was a resident of Spring Hill, but they haven't made a formal ID. An investigation into the circumstances of that crash is now underway. Well, the GOP has picked up another seat in the House of Representatives. Conservative Nick Begich has won a tight race for Alaska's lone seat in the House. He flipped that seat that had been held by Congresswoman Mary Peltola. The win gives Republicans a 219 to 213 majority in the House now. And she got her way. South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace's quest to keep biological men out of the women's restrooms on Capitol Hill has succeeded after House Speaker Mike Johnson issued support for that rule.
At the end of the day, there has to be a line in the sand. You can't allow penises in women's locker rooms.
Representative-elect Sarah McBride, formerly Tim McBride, says he won't use the women's bathrooms in the Capitol. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Well, we've got things mixed on the futures market this morning. Dow Jones Industrials futures are plus 52, but the NASDAQ futures are down 10, and the S&P futures are down just a fraction. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather. Next, I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 5:33 on Nashville's Morning News. Dan Mandis here. Are the relatives coming to your house for Thanksgiving dinner? Let Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling help you by ensuring that your home is in-law and relative ready. Now, I've been a customer of Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling for years, and this is a company that I really enjoy doing business with. One of the reasons is because they're always looking for ways to save you money. And right now, Busy Bee has a limited number of 14 SEER 1 and 1.5 to 3 ton split heat pumps for only $69.95. This system offers a great balance of energy, efficiency, performance, and year-round comfort for residential homes. How about $750 off an upright tanked water heater with circulation kit, or a free package upgrade for air duct cleaning? So many ways to save with my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Be sure to check out the Beehive Club. If you are a Beehive member right now, you can get a free Beehive membership to the in-laws. That's right. If you're already a Beehive member, you qualify for that additional membership for the in-laws only from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, bringing families together the Busy Bee way for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Find them online, busybeehvac.com. The phone number is 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. They are your Rude Pro partner, busybeehvac.com.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
Looks like the roads are doing really well this morning. No delays to speak of on I-40, on 24 headed in, even on 65. Things are looking good. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star of the Gang of Three in Nashville's Morning News, Dan Mandis.
All right, so am I supposed to be Fat Dan or Skinny Dan? Like there's Fat Elvis and Skinny Elvis.
Skinny Dan.
I'm like
You're
in between.
P-H-A-T, fat.
P-H-A-T, very good,
There
Joan.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I feel like I'm in between fat and skinny right now.
No, you're not.
You ever feel that way, Joan and Johnny, where it's just like you get up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, ugh.
Daily.
Yes.
See, me too. That is exactly right. Well, Joan, we all can't, be eating really healthy and microwaving fish in the microwave at work.
Salmon.
But it was so good. Thanks for not noticing.
By the way,
The rest of us are microwaving crappie.
we were talking about microwaving what? Crappie?
Crappie, yes, that's a fish.
Oh, is that a fish?
Yes.
All right. We asked for people to tell us what their most annoying thing is with people at work.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple, and some of these people are, I don't know who you work with, man, but we have experienced a lot of these things. But a couple of mine is when a woman or a man will wear a lot of perfume or a lot of cologne.
Oh, yeah.
And there have been times where we used to have somebody here who wore a boatload of perfume. I mean, it was just like she showered in it.
In fact, when she would leave the building, you could still smell it.
It was like a vapor trail.
Yes.
A vapor trail?
And
yeah,
so
a lot of, ooh.
I remember one day when I was in middays, I was talking to her in the kitchen. I was halfway between my show noon to 3. I had an allergy attack the rest of the day.
Oh, my gosh.
I almost had to go home because the vapors of her perfume got into my nose, and it was just, I was a wreck the entire rest of the day. I had to go home and go to bed.
Oh, I understand that.
Did you tell her? Did you tell her, like,
No.
stop doing
Oh,
that?
good Lord, Joan, no. I get hauled into human resources for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you? Would you get hauled? I think you would get it hauled
You
into
would?
HR.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in D.C., the station that I worked for in D.C., we actually got an email from HR that said, hey, everybody, stop wearing so much perfume. It's bothering other people around you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And did everybody know who they were talking about? Like, everybody's like, oh, this person clearly is going to know that they're talking about them.
I didn't. So, I worked in the morning. So
Yeah.
you leave like 10 o'clock in the morning and the rest of the day, I never heard who it was.
Okay.
So there's a whole life that happens after people who work in the morning.
Oh, yeah. We are like on an island.
Yes.
Well,
Yes, we are.
I will admit, I am more island-like than you two because Johnny has to stay behind and do podcasts
Yeah.
and do that stuff. And Joan, you've got to stay a little bit longer.
You vaporize.
Man,
as
it is
soon
like-
as the show is over, you are gonski.
Well, everybody knows I want to be on I-40 going eastbound by 9:02. Like, that is my goal.
And in the hot tub by 9:35.
That's exactly right, if I can. Matter of fact, I was in meeting with the program director, and he actually made a joke about me leaving right at 9 o'clock. I said, no. I don't leave at 9. I leave at 8:55.
That's right. That's right, you do.
I mean, you guys laugh.
No, it's true. After
But-
you do your last spot, your last,
I am like gone.
there's this one question. Johnny, am I done? Sure.
It's exactly right. I think yesterday I asked that question, and Chris said, oh, you're done. Oh, you're done.
I don't think he meant the same thing you were thinking.
But for the record, I get up at like midnight, prep for the show at home. I got the full studio at
Sure.
home, then I come in, so whatever. But you've got the bad perfume. You've got the too much cologne.
But
Yeah.
on the other end, I worked with a newsman. It was actually in this city, a radio station called KZ Country. We were on Music Row, where Curb Records is now. This guy, his BO was so bad.
Really?
I mean, it peeled the wallpaper off the wall.
Ugh.
It was awful.
So do you...
And even a coworker put some underarm deodorant in his newsroom and try this. But he didn't.
And he didn't do it?
He didn't do it.
He didn't take the hint?
Oh man,
That was clubbed over the head?
woo.
No kidding.
He was a strange little guy too. Never really said anything to anybody. Just kind of came in, did his news, and
You know, as a supervisor, having to have those discussions with people can be really awkward. And I've been in past lives at past stations. I've had to have those conversations with somebody, exactly that problem. And the secret is to make it seem like no, people are not talking about it, and make it seem like today it's really bad.
Yes.
Without saying, yeah, this has been going on for like 3 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I try to do.
Yeah.
And it's very, very awkward.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. Other people are talking about lazy people at work.
Yep.
That's one of the things. Gossips at work.
Gossips are the worst.
Yes, they are.
Let's see. Coffee. Most annoying, no coffee. Oh, we get that all the time. Most annoying, no coffee, when they forget to put coffee in our kitchen.
No cups.
No cups. There's that as well. It looks like everybody's got the same people that talk too much. Like there's people, and I will admit that I fell into this category. And Johnny, you can totally call me out on this. I'm a talker. I like to talk. Off the air, it's like I consider certain people in this radio station my good friends. Johnny is one, Joan is one, Ken Weaver is one. And I like to talk.
Same here.
And so I know that you guys see me coming and you're like, pretend you're busy.
We do not do that.
You know what happened the other day?
What's that?
I think, Joan, you were there. Who was it? I'm not going to say who was there, except for Joan. You ever know when people are talking about you?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
When you turn the corner, you hear conversation, then it all stops.
Yes.
Yeah, and they have the panic look on their face.
That happened the other day. I'm not going to say who it was because, quite frankly, I don't remember.
I had it happen too, Dan.
Did you have it happen too?
Yes. I turned the corner and all of a sudden,
silence.
Conversation. It was like I entered a Korean market.
Yes. And I'm walking over to the bathroom, and I know exactly what was going on, and I just started laughing.
Yes, it is funny.
I'm sure that the people that were talking about me were saying just the nicest of things.
I wasn't
and they didn't want to. They didn't want to.
I wish I knew who it was.
They didn't want to embarrass me by saying such nice things to my face. Somebody's asking, "Hey Dan, you were talking about how you hope that WTN is your last radio station that you ever work at. Can management force you to go elsewhere?" I was talking to somebody about that, about whether or not you could be like traded to another radio station.
Oh,
yeah, they own my contract, right? So if they wanted to send me to like Tuscaloosa or something, I don't know. They could if they wanted to. I don't know. I pulled that out of my rear end, like everything else. Anyway, moving right along. Yeah, people that destroy the bathrooms at work.
Oh,
that is another one.
Oh, yeah, we had one.
We have those.
Yeah, we do.
We have non-toilet flushers here.
We have that, and also
that's gross.
Oh yeah, there's somebody here that will wee in the toilet and leave it.
That's a guy thing. That's totally a guy thing. Girls, don't do that.
Oh, Joan Jones. You are lying through your teeth.
No, you guys go into the men's room. Don't make me Nancy Mace you. The girls don't do that.
Women have Johnny, back me up here. Women have long said that women's bathrooms are horrible. They leave like women's products everywhere and not in the trash can. That's number one. Number two, same problem with some men. They don't flush. Women have told me that.
Yeah, I don't. I haven't experienced it. Maybe if you're talking about the women's room in Walmart, but not in radio stations.
The bathrooms of Walmart.
Oh man!
Let's start a new social media trend.
Yeah, let's do that. And two, there's somebody here that must be green because they constantly turn the light off in the bathroom. And I hate to inform them, but that light, it takes more electricity to turn the light on than if you just left it on.
Yep.
There's also the people that take and this happens all the time here, that take the coffee pot and it's got just a hair's little tiny bit of coffee left in it, and they put it on the burner.
Yes.
So that it burns and it smells so disgusting.
And they leave it overnight.
And the coffee pot, it sometimes it might crack, and it's got that, like you're saying, Joan, that big charcoal thing underneath.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, these are the things I didn't miss when for 9 months, I think it was about 9 months, Johnny, we all worked from home.
Yeah.
During COVID.
Yeah.
Didn't miss coming to the office.
Nope.
Well, and while you guys were gone, someone in this building would light up. It smelled like a Swisher Sweet, like a cigar.
Oh, really?
Seriously?
Yes.
Smoke in the building? I love it.
Oh, yeah, they were smoking in the
That's
building.
funny.
Or they were vaping.
I know somebody who, I can't.
Can't bust them on the air.
No,
eh?
you know what? No, because I don't want to.
Smoking weed? Seriously?
I didn't say that. John, did you say that?
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to say it, buddy. I caught that drift.
Oh,
Wow. Somebody was
no
smoking.
pun intended.
Somebody smoking weed in the.
Somebody, walks by me and it's like, what that smell? That's the devil's lettuce. Anyway, moving right along. Hey, did you have something from The View, Joan?
I did. I am so excited to play this for you. So this is an argument that busted out on The View yesterday. This is Sunny Hostin talking about she doesn't want, Linda McMahon has been nominated to lead the Department of Education. And her goal, President Trump's goal is to eliminate it, but her goal is to get a voucher program going nationwide so that people can choose their own schools. Sunny Hostin thinks that that's a bad idea because the only people that are going to get that money are rich people.
Oh, please.
And Alyssa Farah, and you remember her, she's the fake Republican that sits next to her on the set. And she was trying to break into this conversation. And at the end, Whoopi Goldberg had to stop it all. So that's the setup for it. Here's how it sounded on the air yesterday.
More schools. Let me just finish this. So wealthy families are overwhelmingly the recipients of school voucher tax credits. I'm not making this up. This has been studied. In 2020, a 2020 study found that only about half of states with voucher programs require teachers to have a bachelor's degree, require teachers to have training, require teachers to have licensing, require participating in private schools.
If I may get in, just to make it a conversation.
But because I have children and because I looked at private schools.
I went to public school. I believe you got to go to private school.
There is zero statistical significance.
You got to go to private school.
Because nobody can figure out what's being said here right now. No, there is no last thing right now.
And that was it. They went to break.
How bad is it when Whoopi Goldberg is the voice of reason?
Yeah.
Yes. Has to break up an argument.
Yeah. That was, I don't know if you caught it, but when Alyssa Farah tried to break in, Sunny Hostin said, I have children, as if to say, you are a childless cat lady and you have no business in this conversation. It was delicious.
Did you hear what's going on at The View, ABC? They are really worried because there's 5 of them, right? That there's no balance. There's no balance on The View. And supposedly, ABC is freaking out because they are so disconnected from where the American people are. And so now they're trying to figure out, okay, so do we need, because you've got Alyssa Farah, but you called her a fake Republican. I believe that she is a rhino. And so she's not really, she's not really balancing the other 4. So do they need just like a fire-breathing, like a Scott Jennings to come in there and just eviscerate them? I would love to see that. Now, you can't have Scott Jennings because apparently it's only women.
It's only women.
Megyn Kelly.
Oh, she'd be good.
They couldn't handle Megyn Kelly. They couldn't.
She's too smart.
Why would it only be one Republican or one conservative? It needs to. You want balance?
Yes.
On The View, it needs to be more than just one.
You have 6, 3 on each side.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But they couldn't handle that.
And you need, like Joan said, you don't have these fake Republicans, these rhinos. You need somebody who's not going to be a lapdog for Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. You need, I think a Megyn Kelly would be outstanding. I think, who is it that works at Fox now? She, Harris Faulkner?
Yes.
Would be
Harris
good.
Faulkner,
Kayleigh McEnany would be great.
Yeah.
Yes, she would.
I would love to see that. But see, here's the problem with The View. They don't deal with facts.
No.
They deal with talking points.
And emotion.
Feels. Yeah. All the feels.
Yes, all the feels and emotion. And so that's why they couldn't handle a Megyn Kelly. That's why they couldn't handle a Harris Faulkner or a Kayleigh McEnany. We need we need a version of The View on, which I guess it would be outnumbered on Fox.
It is.
I guess
yeah.
that's what you would do.
Yeah.
I want to do something like that. You know what I want to do on TN is I would love somehow to have, maybe various hosts, and producers, whatever. But we do like a podcast where we do our version of The View. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just have
That'd
fun.
be cool. Yeah.
I would love that. And we got this really nice podcast studio here now that they have. So I would love to do that. And I would even be willing to stay later than 8:55 to do it.
You mean give up your hot tub time?
Oh, man.
Oh,
What?
No, you know what we're going to do?
Put the hot tub in the studio?
Joan, I'm not going to say who it was, but there is a member of management that thought that it would be a great idea for me to do a podcast from the hot tub.
From the hot tub?
Hot
Okay.
takes.
Hot
It was
takes from the hot tub.
It was hot takes from the hot tub with Dan Mandis. I immediately shot that down.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
No, it's really not. Anyway, it's 5:53. Joan Jones, what's coming up in the news?
I want to tell you that the House Ethics Committee decided what they decided to do with that investigation into Matt Gaetz. Also, a Memphis florist says no thanks to business from Trump supporters. We'll tell you how that's turned out. Those stories coming up at 6 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey everybody, Dan Mandis from Nashville's Morning News. The Wall Street Journal reported a while ago that people are feeling stress, anxiety, and depression because of this election. If that's you, talk to my guy, Dr. Christopher Van Schenk. He is a psychiatrist out in Nolensville. Now, he can help you with not only depression, if you're feeling it because of politics or whatever, but he can also help you with alcoholism, drug abuse as well. Go to his website, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. He's got a long list of conditions that he can help you with, either in person or at telehealth. Bottom line is, he wants to make it as easy as possible for you to get the help that you need. He can help your kids as well. Check him out online. Again, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. The number's below. Thanks for listening, and good luck.
Hey there, it is 6:01, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Yes, there is a big accident this morning on 24 westbound lanes. It's right at Bell Road, exit 59, and 2 right lanes are blocked. That's going to cause some big delays and headaches this morning. We've got the full forecast and traffic still to come in 5 minutes. The House Ethics Committee met for 2 hours behind closed doors yesterday to talk about whether to release that report on the investigation into Attorney General nominee Matt Gaetz. Now, ABC News chief, Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl tells us that the Trump White House has expressed a willingness to go and fight for Gaetz.
Trump wants this. He's made it clear that of all his controversial nominees, he puts this one right at the top. They are going to fight for this. The president's going to fight for this. He's been calling senators already. The Trump team is prepared to play hardball with any Republicans who think about voting against Matt Gaetz for attorney general or to vote against any of his nominees.
Now, in the end, the committee members did not come to agreement on releasing that report. Democrats have said they will attempt in other ways to force the committee's hand. Well, just days after, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey said her state would not cooperate with President-elect Donald Trump's federal immigration enforcement efforts, ICE agents announced yesterday they have arrested 2 illegal immigrants who were charged with raping children in her state. They also arrested a 3rd man who was convicted of child rape in Brazil and was hiding out in the U.S. after being caught and released at the border in 2022. A Memphis florist who refuses to serve customers who voted for President-elect Donald Trump has been forced to close up shop temporarily after receiving nasty backlash. That shop's name is Everbloom Design. The owner is Kristen Wolter. She posted a video to Instagram announcing her decision, but then changed the account to private. Now some accuse Wolter of discrimination, but in Tennessee, businesses do have the right to refuse service so long as their reasoning does not violate the Human Rights Protection Act of Tennessee. Market Numbers Report now brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Here's Jim Ryan.
From ABC News Wall Street now. Stocks were mixed Wednesday with the Dow Jones breaking a 5-day losing streak and advancing 139 points, closing at 43,408. The Nasdaq Composite slipped 0.1%. The S&P 500 finished flat. The Justice Department is demanding that Google spin off its Chrome browser, saying it gives Google an unfair advantage over its competitors. In a statement, Google says the DOJ demand represents unprecedented government overreach. This may take attention off the recent E. coli scare involving raw onions on the Quarter Pounder. For the first time since 2022, the McRib will return to the menu at McDonald's for a limited time starting December 3rd. Thanksgiving dinner, meanwhile, will gobble up less of your paycheck as the star of the show, turkey, drops 6% in price. The American Farm Bureau Federation says the cost of feeding 10 will average $58 or $5.80 per person. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Stock futures are little changed this morning. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather are next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Big mess on 24 westbound lanes right at Bell Road, exit 59. It's an accident, and it's blocking 2 right lanes. Police are on the scene, but that's going to be there for a while. Also, the eastbound side of 24 and exit 31, that's New Hope Road. There's an accident. The right shoulder is blocked. Brentwood 65 southbound at Concord Road, exit 71. A stall out there, and the right shoulder is blocked. And an accident in Burns. It's 840 eastbound south of I-40 West. An accident reported there as well. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
6:08 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 89.7 WTN. Welcome on in to your Thursday, November 21st. Hope you're doing well, along with Johnny B. and Joan Jones, who had a fascinating story. Joan, about that, was that a florist in Memphis?
A florist, yeah.
Ever Bloom Design?
Yes.
Now, have you heard the audio?
I tried to find audio. I couldn't find it. I'm glad you did.
I sure did. So this is a florist, and I didn't even do it. Can I just be honest? I said this yesterday, so I don't want to belabor the point, but I'm so tired of this because it's like low-hanging fruit for a talk show host. We know that the nut jobs are out there. We do. And I'm tired of covering them because we got business to attend to. However, in the interest of furthering the story, let's listen to the audio, the ramblings of Everbloom Design in Memphis. I guess this is the owner.
I won't do business with people who support the president-elect. And it is because I need to create a safe place for me, my staff, and my family.
So there you go.
So how does she determine? I mean, when people come in, does she say, hey, did you vote for Trump? And if so, I'm not going to serve you?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's chasing people out of your store. How do you survive?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I were in Memphis, I would walk in with my bulletproof vest and a Make America Great Again hat on. I would. That's what I would do. And I would dare her not to serve me so that then I could sue the living crap out of her. That's what I would do.
But you can't in the state of Tennessee.
Oh, tell me why.
Yeah, so there's a law. It's called and I have to go back to it here. Let's see. 6 o'clock news. It is the Human Rights Protection Act of Tennessee. As long as what you're doing doesn't violate the Human Rights Protection Act of Tennessee, businesses can do whatever they want.
Okay.
So that baker in Colorado, he would, he also is protected by such.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess the question is now she had to put her account to private, I guess, because she was getting all kinds of backlash.
So a little bit of hate.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that she thought would happen.
Right. No, I think that you invite people to do this when you make an announcement
you do.
Like that.
You invite people to do it, and you know what? Here's the deal. If that's what she wants to do, if that's the way that she wants to run her business, then okay. But here's the thing. There is going to be backlash.
Yeah.
And you can't be surprised by that. And here's the other thing. You didn't have to put it on social media. I mean, she wanted to make some bold proclamation, but that's just dumb.
So in my humble opinion, I think that there's a little bit of attention seeking. So she puts that out there expecting that she's going to get the backlash. So when she gets the backlash, she can say, I'm so afraid of you people that have said awful things to me.
Victimhood seeking.
Yes, it's victimhood.
Because what do we do in this country? We put victims on pedestals.
Right.
And so then when they do this, when these attention-seeking, people, when they decide to do that, and then you're right, they can play the victims. And then what they do is they'll come out and they'll say, oh, Donald Trump supporters, they're dangerous. It's like, no, man, your life was just fine, actually, before you did this. And you know what? Here's the deal, is that if you wanted all of this attention, you got it. And that's now what you've done. And so I don't know if this is going to have an impact on her business, because there's just as many other people who would go out and they would say, all right, well, we hate Donald Trump, and so we're going to go to your florist. And here's the deal. If that's the way that she wants to do her business, fine. If there is a Republican, and I would never say this, I think that as Chris Hand always says, everybody buys shoes. So if I had a business, and I would never dream of coming out and saying that I wouldn't serve, Kamala Harris supporters. It just is not good business. And the bottom line is, for conservatives, what do we embrace? We embrace capitalism, making money. We embrace freedom of speech. Those are two things that two of many things that we embrace. And so this whole cancel culture thing is people on the left. I don't know. Have you ever heard, and I could be all wet on this one, has there ever been a Republican who has said that they wouldn't serve a Democrat? I don't know if there has been, because that would be against conservative principles.
Principles, yeah. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Anyway, so this short-haired woman with blue glasses is now all upset.
She had to close her business for a week.
Yeah.
So that she could regroup. She set everything to private on her social media so that nobody could react and respond.
Right.
And she wants to let everyone know that she had to do all of these things because of Trump supporters.
No, it's because of what she did.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. 6:14, Nashville's Morning News. Thank you, Joan.
Yeah.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We've been watching the Laken Riley murder trial, and this is such a horrendous story on so many different levels. Number one is this guy, Jose Ibarra, obviously shouldn't have been in this country, but there's a lot of other things that we heard in this trial equally as infuriating. And I would love to see the family of Laken Riley, I would love to see them sue the Biden administration. I don't think that they can, but people are talking about victims' rights, or the rights of victims' families to go after the federal government and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Alejandro Mayorkas because they allowed all of these people into our country. I've got details straight ahead, 6:15. Time to check the roads on WTN. (6:15) Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And as far as your weather goes, partly cloudy today, windy, highs near 50. And local television is reminding us that it's going to be cold, so be sure and put a jacket on your kids. I'm trying to trigger Joan because she had a big thing on that in the 5 o'clock hour.
I just can't believe that
We
they
don't
would expend a reporter's time in such a way.
There was actually a TV station here in town that sent a reporter apparently out to a bus stop,
Yeah.
imploring parents to put jackets on their kids. It must
But
be
then a super texter texted and said, hey, I'm a bus driver, and you wouldn't believe how many parents let their kids go out the door in the middle of winter without a jacket on.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe there's something to this.
All right.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yep.
The murder of Laken Riley has been found guilty. The guy's name, of course, is Jose Ibarra.
In the state of Georgia versus Jose Antonio Ibarra, I find the defendant guilty. Count 2, felony murder, I find the defendant guilty. Count 3, felony murder, I find the defendant guilty. Count 4, felony murder, I find the defendant guilty.
10 charges total, and you can hear the family screaming in painful agony because they're mourning the death of their loved one, Laken Riley. And I got to tell you, there's so many people that are horrified that Jose Ibarra is not being given the death penalty. The liberal prosecutor, funded by George Soros, a woman by the name of Deborah Gonzalez, is no longer seeking the death penalty because life without parole already constitutes very substantial punishment. This woke DA, Gonzalez, made several other soft-on-crime policy decisions out of a desire to impact the community's fundamental faith in the system. Well, she's completely crazy because this kind of decision destroys our faith in the system, because this guy, Jose Ibarra, is going to be living the good life in prison. I guarantee you he's going to hook up with other Tren de Aragua gang members in prison, and he's going to be just fine in prison. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be a great life, but what I'm saying is that people in prison, when you're a gang member, sure, you'd love to get out, but you rule the prison. And so for me, I think this guy deserved to be put down like the dog that he is. Now, this DA, the Deborah Gonzalez, liberal prosecutor, she has also been slammed for dismissing charges against a child rapist. That's right. This prosecutor being slammed for dismissing charges against a child rapist who was later convicted of the attack. And even her own former supporters believe that this prosecutor is actually incompetent. She lost her re-election campaign to an independent by 20 points in November. So now Republicans are furious because this guy's been given life in prison without parole and not given the death penalty. You've got Marjorie Taylor Greene slamming the decision, calling for Ibarra, who entered the country illegally, to be given the death penalty. Georgia State Senator Colton Moore demanding the Attorney General, Chris Carr, file an emergency motion to demand the death penalty and slam the Democrat prosecutor in charge of the case, again, Deborah Gonzalez. She says, I am officially calling on Attorney General Chris Carr to file an emergency motion to intervene and demand the death penalty for the murderer of Laken Riley. He writes on X, District Attorney Deborah Gonzalez let her radical political agenda stand in the way of justice. This is why people no longer have faith in the system. Because a guy who absolutely should have, without a doubt, be given the death penalty has been given life in prison without parole. And it's great. The pictures of this prosecutor, I'm going to put that in air quotes, this District Attorney Deborah Gonzalez, she's in front of a rainbow flag that says Harris Waltz. And the trial, I mean, I don't know if you heard this. This was incredible. The incredible moment her stepfather, Laken Riley's stepfather, read one of her journal entries.
To my future husband. As silly as I feel writing this, my old small group leader once recommended it, so here I am. To my future husband, I want you to know that I'm thinking about you. I'm working every day to become the best wife I can be. By working through my current relationships to best prepare me for ours and our kids one day. I'm focusing on God and what He defines as a faithful Christian wife, and so that I can best embody those characteristics.
Yeah, I mean, this was clearly a young woman, very Christian, and had an amazing life ahead of her. And this guy, Jose Ibarra, he comes into our country illegally, and then he is flown from New York, where he was staying in a fancy hotel, of course, the once fancy anyway, the Roosevelt Hotel. And he is flown to Georgia on some humanitarian ask, and that's where he ultimately killed Laken Riley. And now the question is, number one, absolutely he should be given the death penalty, and maybe somebody in prison will take care of that for us. But number two, why should the family of Laken Riley not be able to sue the Biden-Harris administration along with Alejandro Mayorkas? They absolutely should. And maybe there is a lawsuit out there that they're working on. But the victims of illegal aliens, all of these people that have come across our border illegally, and this is, an administration currently in office who just encouraged it, and they allowed it to happen. And so I do believe that there should be a lot of lawsuits against Joe Biden, against Kamala Harris, either personally or against the federal government for allowing these people into our country, knowing full well that really bad people were coming into our country. And Joe Biden had to be cajoled and prodded into saying her name. And he finally did.
And he said it wrong.
And he called her Lincoln. Unbelievable. So I believe that Donald Trump's, and maybe he's going to do this, maybe he has done this, and I'm behind the eight ball in this one, but I think that Trump should call the upcoming mass deportation, the piece of legislation that is ultimately utilized, he should call it the Laken Riley Act. He really should. Because she would still be alive if it wasn't for Joe Biden, if it wasn't for Kamala Harris, and if it wasn't for Alejandro Mayorkas. Really, really sad indeed. I'm glad that he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. I'd be gladder if he was dead. I would be glad if Jose Ibarra was given the death penalty. 623. Joan Jones is coming up with the news. Joan, what's coming up?
We have breaking news. The International Criminal Court issuing arrest warrants in the Israel-Hamas war situation. We'll tell you all about that coming up. Also, why a former coach at a local Christian school turned himself into police last night. Those stories coming up at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you very much. 623. Big news from my friends at DT McCall's. If you've been thinking about buying a gun safe, but you've been putting it off, now is your time. Because gun safes are sales tax free. Sales tax free from my friends at DT McCall's. They are the largest Liberty Safe dealer in the state of Tennessee. Reason? Well, many reasons. But number one, free delivery and free setup. Other places are going to charge $500 at least for delivery and setup in bigger models, $300 for smaller ones. But at DT McCall & Sons, they deliver every safe for free every time, period. No setup charge either. That is why I do a lot of shopping every time I need something for the home. I go to my friends at DT McCall's, 5 locations across Middle Tennessee, Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, Franklin, always online, dtmccalls.com. Hey everybody, Dan Mandis from Nashville's Morning News. The Wall Street Journal reported a while ago that people are feeling stress, anxiety, and depression because of this election. If that's you, talk to my guy, Dr. Christopher Van Shank. He is a psychiatrist out in Nolensville. Now, he can help you with not only depression, if you're feeling it because of politics or whatever, but he can also help you with alcoholism, drug abuse as well. Go to his website, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. He's got a long list of conditions that he can help you with, either in person or telehealth. Bottom line is, he wants to make it as easy as possible for you to get the help that you need. He can help your kids as well. Check him out online. Again, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. The number's below. Thanks for listening, and good luck.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly, who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
Doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
629. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 89.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Super text line is open, 615-737-9986. Matt Gaetz goes to the Senate. And that happened yesterday, of course, led by J.D. Vance. And I have been waiting to play this audio from MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell, which I don't know if he is updating his resume or not, but he should. But coming up after the news at 6:35, I've got all the latest on, number one, how that went as Matt Gaetz meeting all of these various senators. That's number one. Number two, we have some new names that are out there this morning of people that Donald Trump wants to serve in his administration and, of course, on his cabinet as well. All of that and a whole lot more straight ahead on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here for my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. Listen, if you love watches like I do, then you need to check out the Brentwood Jewelry Watch event going on right now through the 28th. And now this is a great event. If you want to buy a watch for somebody that you love or whatever, a coworker, whatever it may be, or maybe for yourself, they've got a great watch event going on right now, again, through the 28th at Brentwood Jewelry. You can skip the holiday lines and find early Christmas deals at Brentwood Jewelry's watch event. They've got exclusive discounts on select watch brands. You'll find the perfect gift for everyone on your list and maybe one for yourself as well. So make this holiday season timeless with Brentwood Jewelry. Now, this is my jewelry store. You can find anything at Brentwood Jewelry. Of course, watches, rings, earrings, bracelets, terrific options and prices as well at Brentwood Jewelry. Find them online, brentwoodjewelry.com. 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. brentwoodjewelry.com.
Good morning. It's now 6:31. I'm Joan Jones with the latest news. We still have that crash we're dealing with on 24 this morning. Looks like it's actually in the eastbound lanes now. 24 at New Hope Road, an accident at exit 31. Everything else is looking like it's in pretty good shape now. Got your forecast, too, coming up in just a moment. We have breaking news that the International Criminal Court has just issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Hamas official Mohammed Deif, all for crimes against humanity related to their ongoing war. Now, this is a developing story. We'll have more on this throughout the morning. A former Nashville high school coach has surrendered to police, charged with statutory rape. 32-year-old Tyler Fort is accused of having multiple sexual encounters with a 17-year-old at Donaldson Christian Academy 4 years ago. He was a coach at that time. When police began their investigation in September, that's when the former student came forward. The CMAs handed out last night at Bridgestone Arena, and Chris Stapleton was the big winner of the night, taking home 3 of his 5 nominations, including Male Vocalist of the Year, as well as both Single of the Year and the Song of the Year for his song White Horse.
All my kids at home, thank you. I love you guys. If you're watching, you go to bed now.
Of course. Morgan Wallen was nominated in 7 categories, the most of any artist this year, but he only took home 1 award, Entertainer of the Year. Now, despite being the top award last night, Wallen was absent from the ceremony. That's the latest news, traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. On, on Hickory Hollow Parkway, west of Mount View Parkway and Crossings Boulevard, there's an accident. That's Antioch. And East Madison, it's Maya Drive near Tennessee 45, an accident reported by police. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
.637 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. Along with Johnny B, Joan Jones, Dan Mandis here. Got a super text here. So we were talking earlier, just very quickly, about whether or not there had been any conservatives who had refused to serve Democrats or liberals at their business. Somebody pointed out Christians not baking cakes for gay folks. I don't think that was political, though. That was the Colorado story. But that was based on religion and not politics. And I believe that there is a difference. I think that, and maybe there is a case where a conservative has said, listen, if you supported Kamala Harris and J.D. Waltz, Governor Waltz, then we're not going to serve you. But I have not seen that because, again, it goes against conservative principles of capitalism and also free speech. But maybe there are some other instances. But to me, that situation in Colorado with the bakers and the cakes and all that, to me, that was religious and not political. But there are people who will argue that it was actually political, whatever. There is a lot going on. Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. That controversy continues. By the way, Dan Bongino's name, of course, we're all friends with Dan Bongino. We know Dan. His name has now been bantied about for head of Secret Service. Now, I don't know what that position pays, but I can tell you that Bongino's making bank right now with his podcast and the radio show and all that kind. I understand that it's a calling. I do. I really understand that it is a calling. I don't know if that's something that he is actually interested in. Sometimes these names are floated as almost like a trial balloon kind of a thing. Bongino would be absolutely outstanding at that. I mean, just so you know, I'm a big fan of Dan Bongino. And I think that he is really smart. He's aggressive. And that's what we need. Because look at what happened with Trump and these assassination attempts. The Secret Service, they're not aggressive. And quite frankly, they're not smart. And so they need somebody like a Dan Bongino to protect President Trump. They do. And so we'll have to see what happens there. Of course, we all know that Pete Hegseth, right now, he is being dragged through the mud with some very serious allegations of sexual assault from 2017, if you haven't heard of that. I'm reading up on this, And I got to tell you, just my challenge as a talk show host is that I don't like telling these stories all the time because it feels like good people, their names are being dragged through the mud. But I also feel like I need to tell you both sides of the story. Because if you look at CNN, they've been all over this Pete Hegseth thing this morning. And so maybe in the 7 o'clock hour, I'm going to give you the details of the accusation, of the allegation, where no charges were filed against Hegseth. But I hesitate to talk about these things because I believe that all of this is bogus. But it's in the news, and so I do feel a bit of an obligation to report the story, tell you what the allegations are, and then tell you whether or not they're credible. Because there's a lot of media outlets that are reporting this morning, and so I want to give you both sides. And so in the 7 o'clock hour, I'm going to tell you these accusations, the story behind the accusations on Pete Hegseth, and why I believe that these allegations are bogus. John, I need some audio, please. Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. He was led around yesterday in the Senate. He went around talking to various senators. J.D. Vance was taking him around and meeting the senators that ultimately will decide whether or not, probably, whether or not he'll end up being confirmed. And so one person that he spoke to, Senator Marsha Blackburn, said this to say about Matt Gaetz.
Martha, you know, when I met with Matt Gaetz and Vice President-elect Vance today, I asked Matt what his expectation was, and he wants to be able to have a hearing. He says he will answer any question that anyone asks him, and we have to keep in mind, President Trump has a mandate from the American people, and he has pushed forward with nominees for these positions that will help him to carry out that mandate.
One thing that I love, actually, is that Matt Gaetz is out there telling folks, listen, I want a confirmation hearing. I want a confirmation hearing because I want to answer all of these allegations. Because you know, there's allegations. We've been telling you about the allegations all week long. And really, this has been a story for a long time. The allegations about, you know, sex with an underage girl at 17 years old and prostitution or sleeping or paying women for sex, all those kinds of things. But yet there were no charges filed against him. And so he wants to be able to answer these accusations and these allegations. I believe that he should. Now, I've been telling you for over a week now what exactly is a recess appointment or confirmation. Simply put, is Congress going on a recess for 10 days on these appointments just to get all of these through without the advice and consent of the Senate? And so that's what a recess appointment is they don't have to go through all of the dog and pony show of being grilled by these senators. Matt Gaetz says, I'm ready and willing to talk about all of this, and I want to. Now, whether or not there will be confirmation, these will be recess appointments, or if these will have the typical confirmation hearings is yet to be seen. We'll have to see what happens. But you do have senators on both sides of the aisle that do want to ask Gaetz some very important questions. And to be honest, I do believe that he would be able to answer these questions. The problem is, there are already senators, anti-Trump Republicans or Republicans that are in Biden-friendly states that are inclined to vote no just because it's Matt Gaetz. So he could answer each and every question appropriately and accurately and answer the allegations, but they're going to say, no, we're not going to vote for you simply because you're Matt Gaetz, and you trigger a lot of the Democrats that are out there. And a Republican would say that because there's some Republicans that are absolutely spineless. Because the truth, sadly, to some Republicans and all Democrats simply does not matter. Wait till you hear this audio from Lawrence O'Donnell. It's coming up next. It is 6:45. Time to check the roads on WTN. .45, Nashville's Morning News. Partly cloudy and windy today, a high near 50. And right now, Johnny totally missed it. 54 degrees.
Oh, way off. 43.
43. That's what I said. 43 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Be sure and put your kids in a jacket this morning. Again, it is really cold. Lawrence O'Donnell, of course. Lawrence O'Donnell, MSNBC fame, right? And he says that it's all about these two girls, women now, who accuse Matt Gaetz of paying them for sex.
Their testimony is already available to the Senate Judiciary Committee because they testified for several hours to the House Ethics Committee, which has written a full report of their testimony that includes just how much money Matt Gaetz paid them for sex, just how many thousands of dollars he paid each one of them. And
now realize, listen to how he framed that. He literally is saying that Matt Gaetz paid these women for sex like it's a fact versus an allegation. And we were talking about this yesterday, some of the various Venmo payments to these women. But as I said yesterday, well, there's no indication on here, on the accounts or the listing of what the payment was for. And nowhere does it say that, I mean, not that he would put it on there, but he was, paying them for sex. It was about car repairs and this kind of a thing. There's one that said, love you, whatever. But they can't prove this. And again, not to belabor the point, but Merrick Garland, Joe Biden's attorney general, the 3-year investigation, they never pressed charges against Matt Gaetz because there's nothing there. And so now you got Lawrence O'Donnell talking about these two women and the scurrilous accusations in this, I'm air quoting here, this bipartisan congressional ethics report.
that includes just how much money Matt Gaetz paid them for sex, just how many thousands of dollars he paid each one of them. And that House Ethics Committee report includes eyewitness testimony of Matt Gaetz having sex with a 17-year-old girl in the state of Florida where the age of consent is 18 years old. I now, as of tonight, firmly believe that Matt Gaetz cannot possibly survive a Senate confirmation hearing.
So that's Lawrence O'Donnell. The reporting on this is that Gaetz actually did, according to Lawrence O'Donnell, he is reporting this like he actually did pay these women for sex when these are just accusations. And so the reporting on this seems like he is guilty as charged, and he's not. Paying zero attention, MSNBC and other news outlets, by the way, paying zero attention to his side of the story, which is that, and we reported this yesterday, and I've been reporting this for a long time, he denies all of this, and he says that I was just being generous to some girlfriends at the time. He absolutely denies, by the way, being with a 17-year-old or paying for anything. So folks like Lawrence O'Donnell, listen, men do things. When you are a young, successful person and you're powerful and you're a congressman and you've got the extra change in your pocket and you've got some girlfriends that, I don't know, need the car fixed or whatever, yeah, you give them some money. That doesn't mean that you're paying for intimacy. That means that you're helping out girlfriends. This is not a deal to me. It really isn't. And so folks like Lawrence O'Donnell over at MSNBC and other places, they might want to be careful because, well, we know what happened on The View after their reporting.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
There you go.
We'll be right back.
Will you be right back? Somehow they always seem to survive these things, so yes, they'll be right back. And by the way, she's right. And this is the whole point. Merrick Garland's DOJ did not see a path to bring charges against Matt Gaetz. So this whole thing is nothing short of a an assassination attempt on the character of Matt Gaetz. Now back to Marsha Blackburn.
I'm going to support each of these nominees. And Matt wants to have a hearing, and he wants the opportunity to answer all of those questions. And I will add, I asked him what he would do if he were to be confirmed as Attorney General for the United States. And he was very specific. Dealing with the weaponization of the DOJ is at the top of the list. Dealing with the illegal immigration and the border security issues. Dealing with fentanyl. All of these are items on his to-do list.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. By the way, the Daily Mail, I love this. The Daily Mail has now tracked down one of the former girlfriends of Matt Gaetz, who's been involved in all of this. You know what she says? She has nothing bad to say about Matt Gaetz. She says he would make an outstanding attorney general, and he's really smart. That's what one of the women involved in this says about Matt Gaetz. Oh, and by the way, she happens to be a Democrat. So this is a story. It does seem to me that the Democrats and the media, they're looking to assassinate the character of Matt Gaetz. Perhaps he's made some mistakes, whatever. No charges were ever brought. And to me, that's the bottom line. 6:51, Joan Jones has the news coming up at 7.
So what did Russia do this morning that's concerning to military leaders around the world? Also, a manhunt underway for an escaped inmate in Coffee County. Those stories coming up at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you very much, Joan. It's 6:52. Dan Mandis here. Now is the time to call Cove Generators. Now, if you've ever wanted one of those great backup home standby generators, now is the time to do it, because at Cove Generators right now, they're offering you a free 10-year warranty. That's right, a free 10-year warranty. That is over $1,000 value. So call my friends at Cove Generators right now at 931-559-3311. By the way, at Cove Generators, they answer all of your questions. So if you've got questions about what it's like, what you need to do to own one of these amazing backup home standby generators, they're going to answer all of those questions. Plus, great financing options as well now available. They are your premier Generac home standby generator dealer in the state of Tennessee. So be prepared for the next power outage and call Cove Generators and never lose power again. 931-559-3311. 931-559-3311. Always tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. They can also service your Generac automatic standby generator or any brand of generator that you own. 931-559-3311, covegenerators.com. All right, so Johnny, you were telling me about a tweet or a post on X that Tom Homan has said regarding Ellen DeGeneres and her wife or whatever it is, Portia de Rossi, whatever her name is.
Right.
Moving to England?
Yes. Tom talks about the story and then goes, "You're welcome, America."
There you go. You know, the gift that keeps on giving with the incoming Trump administration, Ellen DeGeneres making good on her pledge to move out of the country. Thank you, Donald Trump. 6:57, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's 7 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Stick around. Got the forecast and traffic coming up. Breaking news this morning, the International Criminal Court issuing arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Hamas official Mohammed Deif for crimes against humanity related to the ongoing war and the attack on Israel on October 7th. This is a developing story. More throughout the morning as we learn it. Russia has launched a military strike into Ukraine this morning that's got world and military leaders talking.
Multiple strikes by Russia on the eastern Ukrainian city of Dnipro. Ukraine initially saying it was an ICBM strike, and President Zelensky just reinforcing that now, saying initial indications are that it was an ICBM, but they're still assessing. ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, they've never been used before in combat and are nuclear capable. But just to stress this wasn't a nuclear strike, and a Western official saying it wasn't an ICBM, but many agreeing they haven't seen a strike like this before. It was highly unusual.
ABC's Ian Pannell reporting. Police are actively searching for an inmate who escaped while being transported in Franklin County. 23-year-old Tony Sweeten escaped around 8:30 last night in the area of Highway 127 and Wattendorf Highway, right at the Franklin and Coffee County line. Police believe he is still in the wooded area near where he escaped. Metro Police investigating after a woman says her car was hit with gunfire while she was driving on Lebanon Pike near Hermitage Inn. This happened on Saturday. Brittany Jacobs tells Channel 4 that at first she thought it was a rock, but she's got a bullet hole in the driver's side back door.
I have grown up in that area and never had any issues, so it's definitely going to be in the back of my mind from now on, which I've never had that thought before.
Metro Police checking surveillance video to try to find the culprit. Country singer Jamie Johnson arrested Sunday in Williamson County and charged with speeding and possession of drugs with intent to manufacture or sell. In September, Johnson spoke to the Tennessean about being sober for the past 13 years. One boxing fan so furious about Netflix's spotty service during last week's Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight that he is suing.
Netflix had hyped the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight for months, but for many who watched, it sounded something like... Now a Florida man named Ronald Denton has filed a class action lawsuit against Netflix, claiming breach of contract and deceptive actions for an event his suit calls unwatchable.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan. Stock futures this morning pointing up now. We've got Dow futures gaining 152. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather. Next, I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Well, let's see. It's an accident this morning in Antioch on Hickory Hollow Parkway, west of Mount View Parkway. And also in East Madison, there's an accident, Myatt Drive at Tennessee 45. And an accident in Burns as well. It's a car and a deer collided on I-40, make that I-840 westbound just before I-40. Hope everyone's okay there. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Information fueled,
opinion driven. This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
we talk news.
7:07, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. It is Thursday, November 21st. Hope you're doing well, along with Joan Jones and Johnny B. I'm Dan. Pete Hegseth is going through it this morning. There is, this has been percolating, I think, for a couple of days, and I've been loath to talk about this because there were no charges filed in this sexual assault allegation. But it's all over the place, and so I feel sort of this responsibility to tell you what the accusations are and my opinion on it. Because he is up for, leading Defense Department and for Donald Trump. And so you know how the media works. They're going after not only, obviously, as we just talked about, Matt Gaetz, but now they're also going after Pete Hegseth. Now, there was an incident that allegedly they say took place during the 2017 California Federation of Republican Women Conference in Monterey, where Pete Hegseth, and again, this is in 2017, was in attendance. Now, per the Washington Post, the transition team of Donald Trump received a 4-page memo detailing an alleged assault by Hegseth of a 30-year-old female staffer for a conservative organization at the hotel, written by a friend of the victim in question. The friend claims that the woman, whom she only identified as Jane Doe, attended the conference with her husband and children. And the woman has since signed a non-disclosure agreement with Hegseth, adds the Washington Post. So here's what they say. One of the woman's responsibilities at the conference was to make sure that Hegseth made it back to his room and left in time the next morning for the 90-minute drive to the airport, the memo says. At some point in the evening, the complaint alleged that this Jane Doe received a text message from 2 women at the bar who told her that Hegseth was getting pushy about his interest in taking them upstairs to his room. Jane Doe, who was nearby, came over and talked to those 2 women, and after they left, she remembered sensing that Hegseth was irritated, the memo said. The woman allegedly could not remember everything that happened after that. Now, this is important. According to the memo, Jane Doe did not remember anything until she was in Hegseth's hotel room and then stumbling to find her hotel room. The memo said that her memory of 6 to 9 hours was very hazy and that her husband was searching for her and was relieved when she finally shows up. The following day, the woman returned home and had a moment of hazy memory of being raped the night before. She had a panic attack, the memo said. She goes to the emergency room. A rape kit showed that there was intercourse, but no real evidence of an actual rape. No charges were filed, and the woman's statement has not been made public. So the question is, Hegseth says this is a he said, she said. He said the intercourse was consensual. And by the way, Hegseth and his attorney say the video evidence from the hotel shows that the woman led him willingly to his room. Through his lawyer, Hegseth has maintained that the 2017 encounter was consensual. Timothy Parlatore, Hegseth's attorney, said in a statement to the Post that on the night in question, the Fox commentator was, quote, visibly intoxicated, but the complainant was not, as she led him by the arm to his hotel room, and that after they were inside the hotel room, she was the aggressor and he was not. She was the one that was initiating the activity. Parliamentary said the lawyer, with no provided evidence that the police had concluded that the woman was the aggressor. The attorney confirmed that Hegseth agreed to pay the woman as part of a non-disclosure agreement out of concern that the incident becoming public would result in his immediate termination from Fox. The amount of the sum was undisclosed. Again, the attorney saying that surveillance footage as well as eyewitness testimony actually support Hegseth's version of the events, but he's declining to provide the names of any potential witnesses to the network, and this is CBS. So a woman takes him up to the hotel room. He was hammered, and they get inside, and Hegseth says that she was the aggressor. Both admit that there was sexual intercourse, and she comes out. She says, I don't remember anything, but she thinks that she was raped. And then she goes on to make these accusations of sexual assault. And then she goes and she gets the rape kit that really doesn't prove anything except the evidence that there was activity, but not necessarily rape. And the police declined to file any charges. A non-disclosure was signed because of the fact that this is a person who is a public figure, and he knows darn right well that if this comes out, then he's going to end up getting fired from Fox because, unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. And so that's all. I'm not going to say that's all there is, but that's the story. Now, there's a lot of media outlets who, in my opinion, are not being fair in their coverage. But, you know, this is one of those stories. He is up for a defense secretary. He's got to go through perhaps confirmation hearings and so forth. And so this is something that I'm sure he's not looking forward to discussing. But he has said, and he said it on multiple occasions, that this was consensual. This was a consensual interaction, nothing more, nothing less. And so for Hegseth, I mean, to me, if there is video evidence that shows that he was intoxicated and she led him by the arm to his room and they went inside, and then he says that he was the aggressor, he says that she was the aggressor. Well, I don't know. This is a he said, she said, because I don't know how you prove any of this. So these are all just allegations. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. I don't know. What do you think? Super texters, what do you think? 615-737-9986. I hate, and I'm just going to tell you, I hate talking about this for a couple of different reasons. Number one is because these are very scurrilous accusations, and he was never charged. And I feel like I am contributing to frankly, the slandering of his name. Because I believe, and I've interviewed him a couple of times, I believe that Pete Hegseth is an amazing individual, an incredible American, member of our military. He's got a whole bunch of kids and seems like overall an outstanding guy and one heck of a broadcaster. But I also believe that it is a news story. And there's a whole bunch of places that are covering it. So I do feel an obligation to cover it. And my job is to give opinions and give you some context and some perspective on that. I really feel uncomfortable doing it at morning drive when there's kids in the car and that whole thing as well. So I don't like having to do this. But I think that this is a story that needs to be discussed because this is what the Democrats do. This is what happens is they'll find these allegations, and whether or not you believe this is a valid topic of discussions for the Democrats as they attack the guy that President Trump-elect Trump wants to be the head of the Defense Department, whether this is a valid story or not, it's the media seems to think that it's a valid story. And since they're all over this, I wanted to give you my perspective and just basically tell you that Hegseth has said, he said, she said. They say that the video evidence shows that and supports his side of the story. And there was a non-disclosure. And a lot of people are going to say, well, he gave her a non-disclosure. He gave her money to not tell her story. Well, there's a reason why people in Pete Hegseth's position do that. And that's because whether or not somebody is innocent or guilty, it doesn't matter. When you're somebody like Pete Hegseth, the accusation is enough to destroy your career, as we all saw with #MeToo. So, yeah, those non-disclosures when somebody is having to pay money for somebody to sign a non-disclosure. There's a number of reasons for that. And number one, media coverage is not always fair when these accusations come about, because oftentimes, as you folks know, as we have often seen, the person accused, especially back during the insanity of the hashtag #MeToo movement, the person accused is automatically guilty in the eyes of many in society. Running late, 7:16, time to check the roads on WTN. (7:18) Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. As far as your weather goes, partly cloudy today, windy, and a high near 50 degrees. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. There is a lot of other news that is going out there today, so let's focus on that, because I got to tell you that when we get to Senate confirmation time, it always just gets a little icky, doesn't it? It just gets a little icky. By the way, Senator Bill Hagerty, did you see this? He is up for Secretary of the Treasury. I remember the other day, didn't I say? I did. I said this. You had Hagerty and President-elect Trump, and they're in Texas watching Elon Musk's rockets go off. And I said, oh, Hagerty's there. He's up for something. And now word is he is up for Secretary of the Treasury. We know that he is a respected senator. He is. He was also Donald Trump's ambassador to Japan. He's always had Donald Trump's back. And so just a little bit of a background, because it does seem to me that Hagerty is somebody who is qualified. He's always had Donald Trump's back. He had his own private equity firm way back when. He served as former Governor Bill Haslam's cabinet as the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development. That was way back in the 90s. He was an economics advisor to George W. Bush. So he had his own private equity firm. He worked in Haslam's cabinet as that commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development. And yes, he was an economics advisor to George W. Bush. So if Hagerty is actually picked and confirmed, this to me is really interesting, because there's a lot of political intrigue going on here in Tennessee, right? Because if Hagerty is picked and he passes the confirmation and all that, then Governor Bill Lee will have to fill that Senate seat with someone. Now, I've heard names, and people don't freak out on me. I've heard names like Tennessee State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson. I've heard names like Congressman Tim Burchett, who people are also saying that he may be running for a governor. Don't know. People are talking about maybe Cameron Sexton, Speaker of the Tennessee House. All kinds of folks out there that could possibly step in if Hagerty ends up going to serve in Donald Trump's administration. And don't forget, by the way, every single one of those people, I believe, and I don't have any inside information, but all of those folks could end up running for governor as well, right? So ending up, serving in the United States Senate would be quite the big resume enhancer as well. So there's a lot there, because it's not only what is going to happen with Hagerty, but also then the domino effect of all of these other local politicians who could get, placed in various positions. And then what impact does that have on the governor's race and future Senate elections as well? It goes on and on and on. So I think that would be tremendously fun. And by the way, well, I'm not going to say that. 7:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, here's what I'll say. Who do you want to run for governor? I'm not going to take calls on it, but who do you want to run for governor? Do you have because, Lee is out. He's termed out. So he's out in 2026. The new governor is going to be sworn in 2027. So who do you want for governor? What are the names out there? Johnny, help me. What are the names? You've got Jack Johnson. I don't know if he has ever actually said that he wants to run for governor.
I don't ever hear him saying that, but I would love to have Jack Johnson.
I think I asked him one time on the air, and he got really uncomfortable. So I think that was Jack Johnson. Whatever. I don't know if he's interested in running for governor or not. He's got a lot going on. Cameron Sexton, Speaker of that. He's always one of those that is under suspicion of wanting to run for governor.
Tim Burchett would be great.
Tim Burchett, there's a lot of people here in the state of Tennessee, I think, that would make great conservative governors. There's a lot of people on both sides of the aisle that don't like Cameron Sexton. There's some that don't like Jack Johnson, but I think Jack Johnson, I think he's a solid individual. I do. I've always liked, and I know I'm not kissing his butt. I'm just saying that I like Jack Johnson. I like what he's done as a majority leader in the Senate. I do like Tim Burchett as well. I don't think there's any other. Well, let's see. There's one other. I've heard rumblings that Congressman John Rose might be interested as well. I hope I'm not these are rumblings. Don't get mad at me. I hope people aren't getting upset that I'm, but this is what people are saying amongst the conservative people in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Can you cite your sources?
No.
Okay.
I could, Joan, but then I'd have to kill you. And I got to be, I don't have the strength to do that this morning. Maybe more.
Plus, there's a
Space
recording
Cowboy
now,
coffee.
and they'll come right to your door.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
If they'd like. All right, go ahead, Joan. What's coming up?
There's a manhunt underway right now after an inmate jumps out of a transportation van. Also, while you want to update your Apple product right away, we've got those stories coming up at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. Appreciate it. The super text line is 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. And again, I for whatever reason, I love the political intrigue kind of stuff. I really do. And at the end of the day, as I said, I want to know who you want to see run for governor in the upcoming gubernatorial race here in the state of Tennessee. Dan Mandis here for my friends at Window Nation. Now, they are bringing back its incredible Black Friday offer. Get 50% off all window styles. This includes bays and bows and double hung, sliders, single hung, picture windows, and a whole lot more. Plus, pay no interest for 5 full years, and through the end of the month, receive an additional 10% discount. Heating costs are going up again this winter, up to 23%. Now, if you don't have Window Nation windows, a lot of your money is literally going out the window. Get top-tier windows from Window Nation at a fraction of the cost of other big names. Now, hurry. Sale ends December 1st, so act right now before this offer ends. Visit windownation.com right now. You're going to get 50% off all window styles, plus 0% interest for 5 full years, and take an additional 10% off as part of their Black Friday special. Schedule your fast in-home estimate right now, 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION. Find them online, windownation.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in, and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly, who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
It doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
Good morning, 7:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Stick around for the forecast. It's a chilly one. There's a manhunt underway right now for an inmate who escaped a transportation van in Franklin County. 23-year-old Tony Sweeten was being transported to Coffee County at the time. The Manchester Police Department, Tennessee Highway Patrol, Arnold Air Force Base Police Department, and the Tullahoma Police, they're all assisting in the search. They believe that Sweeten is still in a wooded area near the Franklin and Coffee County line. Spring Hill, a 19-year-old riding a bicycle, was struck and killed by a large passenger bus last evening. This happened on Campbell Station Parkway west of Main Street. Police were able to say that the 19-year-old was a resident of Spring Hill, but they haven't made a formal ID. An investigation into the circumstances of that crash is now underway. The GOP has picked up another seat in the House of Representatives. Conservative Nick Begich has won a tight race for Alaska's lone seat in the House. He flipped that seat that had been held by Congresswoman Mary Peltola. The win gives Republicans a 219 to 213 slim majority in the House. An urgent warning: if you've got an iPhone, iPad, or a Mac product by Apple, experts say you should update them immediately.
It's a stark warning from cybersecurity experts. Update your Apple product operating systems right now because there is a security flaw that may have been actively exploited. Apple has just released what is called a zero-day patch. The flaw was uncovered by Google's threat analysis group, which focuses on countering targeted and government-backed hacking. Apple, without giving details, says the issue may have been actively exploited. Downloading the latest update in your Apple settings will fix the vulnerability. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Stock futures all pointing up this morning. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 7:32 on Nashville's Morning News on WTN. Skip the hassle and sell your home with the strongest cash offer this fall. With Mark Spain Real Estate, their guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's hassle-free. Dan Mandis here. And with that guaranteed offer, you can skip the uncertainty and sell your home fast for all cash in as little as 21 days. There's no showings, no open houses, and no costly repairs. Just cash in hand and a stress-free sale. Listener Ryan said that Mark Spain Real Estate exceeded their expectations by helping them achieve significantly over their asking price, and they say that we can't recommend Mark Spain enough, and neither can I. Now, their guaranteed offer gives you the peace of mind that your home will be sold when you need it to be sold. Skip the hassle and sell your home with the strongest cash offer this fall. 855-299-SOLD is the phone number. 855-299-SOLD. As always, tell them Dan told you to reach out. Go to markspain.com to get that guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Couple of problems. There's one problem this morning on 24 westbound side at Waldron Road, exit 64. That's a stalled out car, and the left lane is blocked out by it. Also, the 40 eastbound just before I-24 40 East, the split there at 213 A and B. It's an accident, and it's blocking the right lane. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
.38, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. It is Nashville's Morning News. Johnny B. Joan Jones here as well. So, Joan, apparently now local television is telling us that on mornings like this, that not only should we be putting jackets on our kids, reminding us of our parental duties, but now they've told us that that is actually called layering.
Layering. So the key to keeping kids safe and warm when they're at the bus stop is layering so that they can take their jacket off when they get to school. It's very important for you to know this.
Plus, Dan.
Yes, there's other news.
Also in our weather forecast with Stefano DiPietro, he is reminding us to keep our coats in the car today because it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold.
Okay.
So keep your coat with you.
Mm-hmm.
This is out of the blue. This whole winter thing is out of the blue.
You never see winter coming, do you?
No, you don't. And you got to be prepared because sometimes you'll forget. Darn, it's so cold out and I forgot my coat.
It's like November just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Sneaks right up on us.
Sure does.
Every year.
Every year. All right, so Glenn Jacobs, we're talking about people, who do you want to run for governor? A lot of people saying Glenn Jacobs, and folks are saying that he's actually a Knoxville mayor, former, Joan, what do you call it? Is it World Wrestling, WWE? Is that what you call it? He used to be a professional wrestler.
Oh, yeah. What's his name?
Glenn Jacobs. He used to be known as something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I know him as Glenn Jacobs. I don't watch the wrestling. Johnny's, I can tell Johnny's on it. What was Glenn Jacobs' professional?
Kane.
Kane?
I know. I should have lowered my voice so I sound like Johnny.
Oh.
Kane.
All right. So it's Kane. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so governor, he is thinking about running for governor as well. Some say. A lot of people on the super text line love Glenn Jacobs running for mayor. Or, doggone it, running for governor. And so, by the way, word is from people that I know that know Jack Johnson far better than I do. He has no interest in the Senate. Who knows? No idea. I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there.
But he could be a great governor.
He could be a great governor, actually. I don't know. Would you guys want to actually serve in like Congress? I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't make it anyway. I mean, I'd be so many.
I would give
Scandals.
my left arm to come face to face with AOC. Ooh.
Well, that would be cool.
Yeah.
In the like women's bathroom there at the Capitol
with no men.
and you'd be she'd be like, "Hey, can you spare a square?" And you're gonna be like, "No."
I got your square right here, honey.
There you go.
How's
like
that?
It's pretty good, actually.
That was very good.
The Northeast really comes out of me sometimes.
Yeah, I can tell. Boy. All right, very good. Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. I would have absolutely no interest in serving in Congress at all. I think that'd be. I heard Brian talking about Bill Hagerty, and one of the things that he says about Hagerty, and I agree, is that I think Hagerty is frustrated with the pace of being in the Senate and the pace of Congress because it takes an act of Congress to get anything done, and it just takes too long, and so you feel sort of like you're wasting your time, perhaps, or you're spinning your wheels, or whatever. So. I don't know. For me, I think that, again, we got a lot of good names that people are mentioning. Again, Glenn Jacobs for governor, some other folks as well. But mainly the ones that I mentioned are the ones that people are mentioning it. Joan, if you see any other names besides Jack Johnson and Cameron Sexton and Tim Burchett and Glenn Jacobs, let me know. But I think those are the big four. 742 on Nashville's Morning News. We all know what's going on in Pennsylvania. There's a really close Senate race in Pennsylvania, and the Republican, I think his name is McCormick. I can't remember his first name.
Dave McCormick.
What's the name?
Dave
McCormick and Bob Casey, right? So McCormick won, the Republican won, but it was really, really close. And so y'all know who Scott Pressler is, right? He's the guy, we've interviewed him here on WTN. He's the guy who goes to Pennsylvania. And he goes to get the Republican vote out big time. He knocks on the doors and he does anything that he can do to get Republicans to get out there and register to vote and then to vote. He was instrumental, Scott Pressler was, in flipping that state. So there's some great audio now where Pressler gets up in front of the Bucks County Board of Commissioners and told them, I think this was yesterday, told them that he was gunning for their jobs after that disastrous early voting process. Remember, we covered this in Bucks County, where lines were really long and people, many Republicans were told to simply go home. And clearly, it was voter suppression. And so he gets up in front of this commission and the Bucks County Board of Commission, and he tells them straight to their face, I think that you guys are corrupt.
We flipped Bucks County from blue to red, and for the first time in modern history, there are more registered Republicans than Democrats here in this county.
Absolutely. And some really bizarre things happened in Bucks County. That's why there's been so much attention paid to it. There are a bunch of ballots that were missing, at least one. Some required signatures, but they didn't have the signatures. And so there's a lot going on in Bucks County. And so there is a commissioner. Her name is Diane Marcelia, I believe is the name. Joan has some audio from her today where she is very much crying and apologizing for making this statement.
I think we all know that precedent by a court doesn't matter anymore in this country, and people violate laws anytime they want. So for me, if I violate this law, it's because I want a court to pay attention to it.
So literally, she's saying...
Do you want to hear her
yes,
apology?
Yeah, let's do that in 1 second. Basically, what she's saying is that it doesn't matter what the law states. We're going to go ahead and count these ballots regardless of the state laws. And the governor, Josh Shapiro, we talked about this yesterday, the governor even stepped in and said, no, we're not doing that. Now, the reason why she wanted to do that is because obviously she's a Donald Trump hater, and she wanted Bob Casey, the Democrat, to win in that Senate race. And so she said, I don't care what the law is, we're going to go ahead and count these votes. And again, Josh Shapiro stepped in. You know, she knows the ballots violated state law, but she voted to keep them in anyway and not caring about the law. So I love what Scott Pressler had to say.
And I have a message. Peacefully, peacefully. We are coming for your seat in 2027. If you don't resign today,
have at it.
I am coming for your seat peacefully.
So you heard her say, Johnny, you heard her say, have at it, Scott Presler, come on. Well, I don't know if this was after she realized that Presler could actually take what power she has away, but she has now issued a groveling apology. You're going to hear it coming up next. It is 7:45. Time to check the roads on WTN. Partly cloudy today, windy, a high near 50, right now 44 degrees. So be sure and bring your jacket, keep it in the car, put it on, bundle your kids up, layer your kids, as local media is telling us to do. And right now it is 44 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So, Joan, let's hear the groveling apology from that county commissioner, Bucks County commissioner, who said that she didn't care whether we follow state law or not. We're going to go ahead and we're going to count these ballots, literally breaking the law. Scott Presler then says, we're coming for you. And then she decided to apologize.
We all say things that are out of turn. We all make mistakes. I made a mistake. And because I am an elected official, I am held to a far higher standard than everybody else.
Diane Ellis Marseglia.
Marseglia.
Yeah.
All right.
She said that the passion in her heart got the best of her.
So is that Democrat speak for she wanted to steal the election?
I think it might be. Yeah.
I'm just asking a question. Just asking a question. I think that she, because there were conservatives that actually wanted to throw her in jail for what she said. And because if she was going to carry on and do what she said that she was going to do, which is try to make those illegal ballots actually count, thereby breaking state law, that they wanted her charged with crimes and throw her in jail. And she was, I played you the audio. She was very confident that she could get away with it, and she didn't care about the state law. So I love now that she's going out and apologizing. By the way, in North Carolina, if you see this, because, voter fraud is seemingly always in the news. Charges of election fraud across the country in some of these remaining congressional seats that are shockingly somehow still being counted in some other seats as well. This is in North Carolina. Republican North Carolina Supreme Court candidate Jefferson Griffin, whose lead was overcome by late ballots in favor of the Democrat candidate, has filed to challenge the validity of over 60,000 ballots. Griffin's list includes votes from dead people, votes with incomplete registrations against state law, and felons who unlawfully voted. He also included people who voted but were not even registered to do so. The margin is currently 625. If just 626 of those 60,000 challenged votes are deemed illegal, the courts will have no choice but to order a new election. So this is what's going on. And stop me when you've heard this a bazillion times before. The election is reasonably close. And so then all of these ballots suddenly show up, and these ballots have legal issues. The ballots violate state law. And then there's a battle as to whether these ballots should be counted. And the Democrats always want to count these ballots. We don't know where these ballots came from. I'm talking generally speaking now. We don't know where the ballots come from. We don't know who these people are. We don't know if they're dead or alive. And so all of these things matter. And the Republicans will say, just stick to the law. That's all you have to do is stick to the law in this particular case. Now, in California, and they're saying that they've never seen so much election fraud than in that case in North Carolina. Now, here's another one. In California's 45th congressional district, there is a House race that is still undecided. The election, of course, was November 5th. So you've got to ask the question, this was that 2.5, 3 weeks ago, whatever it is? It's a long time ago. Why is this taking so long? And the longer that these counts take, the more you think, oh, there's hijinks and shenanigans going on, because that's what we saw in 2020. It is the 21st, and they're still counting. So slowly, over time, the Democrat has taken over the Republican and now leads by 314 votes. This is, by the way, the 45th congressional seat in California. That is Orange County, that area. Now, heavily populated, but why they're still counting is beyond me. The actual deadline was 8 days ago to receive mail-in ballots postmarked by Election Day. So the question that people are going to ask is, what's going on? It seems odd, right? I mean, doesn't it seem odd that they're still counting? And the deadline to count these was 8 days ago, and they're still counting? They should simply stop the counting. Because the more that ballots come in past the deadline, the wider, conveniently, the wider the Democrats' lead gets. And so just because we have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the White House doesn't mean that voter fraud is still not happening. It clearly, in my opinion, is. And so this is what's going on. This is why President Trump, when he said that his victory needed to be too big to, rig, he was absolutely right. And I think that it took Las Vegas, it took Nevada so long to start counting their votes, because I think that is where the steal was in. That's where they were going to try to do whatever hijinks and shenanigans they were going to do. But once they called, Georgia, and then they called Pennsylvania finally, and they called Michigan and Wisconsin and so forth, they realized that they weren't going to win no matter what they did, and they basically kept their powder dry until, whenever. So it's still going on, and the Republicans need to be as vigilant as ever, and whatever they can do in the next 4 years from the federal level to ensure free and fair elections, they really need to do. Because the Democrats, they're not going to stop. They are unabashed. I mean, you just heard the audio from that Bucks County commissioner where she said, I don't care what state law is. I don't care what it is. We're going to count these votes simply because I want to. And basically her point was that she wanted to break state law so that she could bring attention to the law where she thought that the law was something that she didn't agree with. Well, that's fine, but your job as a state commissioner, as a county commissioner, is to just make sure that the legal ballots get counted. It's up to the state legislatures to make up those laws. Sometimes these folks forget. 7:53, and Joan Jones is coming up with the news at 8. Joan was coming up.
So is Tren de Aragua a thing in Tennessee? We'll hear from the director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. That's coming up at 8 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 7:54. Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986. Friends, if you have land or a piece of your property that you don't know what to do with, think about a pole barn from my friends at Stoltzco. They are the premier pole barn builders here in the state of Tennessee. Putting up a pole barn from Stoltzco could increase the value of your land big time. You can use it as a garage, an event space, an equestrian building. You can just live in it. The thing is, pole barns from Stoltzco, they're flexible, and yes, they're built really well. Now, you could also plan ahead and build your retirement home. Call them and tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. That phone number is 615-622-5992 for Stoltzco, 615-622-5992. You can also find them online, Instagram and Facebook. Their social media is absolutely outstanding. They've got all kinds of different examples of the pole barn that they can build for you. They are flexible and, again, will stand the test of time. Find them online, their website, stoltzco.com, Stoltzco, stoltzco.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in, and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
Doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We're sitting at 43 degrees right now and fair skies. We're only getting to 49 today. The director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is clarifying remarks made at state budget hearings in which he said the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua is present in every major city in the state. Some local police agencies said, though, they don't see it. Here's TBI Director David Roush speaking to Channel 4.
What I want to make sure that the public knows is that we are aware. We are watching them. We are tracking those that we know that are here. And we also want the public to be diligent, as always, and paying attention in their communities for signs of things like human trafficking.
A 16-year-old female student at Maplewood High School has been charged with making a mass threat of violence. Metro Nashville police saying that girl posted threats to bomb and shoot up the school in an Instagram page. Police in northern Warren County say 3 people were found dead yesterday at a home in the Murray Oaks Road area, saying there is no immediate threat of harm to anyone in that area. In a post to Facebook late yesterday afternoon, police said TBI will join in the investigation. A police report on an alleged 2017 sexual assault involving Trump cabinet pick Pete Hegseth was released by the city attorney in Monterey, California last night.
President-elect Donald Trump fighting to get his controversial cabinet choices confirmed. There are growing questions about his choice for defense secretary, Fox News host Pete Hegseth. Hegseth's attorney now acknowledges he paid a financial settlement to a woman who accused him of sexual assault in 2017. Hegseth's lawyer says the encounter with the woman was actually consensual, but that Hegseth paid her anyway because he believed, quote, any public accusation would result in his immediate termination from Fox.
ABC's Mary Bruce. Also, police investigated that incident and Hegseth was not charged. How much would you pay for a banana duct taped to a wall?
At $5 million for the banana. Here it is. Only at Sotheby's. These are words I never thought I'd say. $5 million for a banana.
That's auctioneer Oliver Barker at Sotheby's. Ultimately, it's not what it is, but who made it in the world of art. The conceptual art piece was the life's work of Italian artist Maurizio Catalan. Ultimately, it sold for just a little bit more.
Fair warning, at $5,200,000. Jen, the Catalan is yours. Congratulations. Thank you very much indeed.
Sotheby's revealed afterwards that the banana went to Justin Sun. He's a Chinese collector and founder of a cryptocurrency platform. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather. Next, I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Got an accident on 24, the eastbound lanes right at I-65 North exit. That's 44 A and B, and it's blocking off the right shoulder. Also at the eastern split, I-40 eastbound right at 213 A and B, there's an accident and the right lane is blocked off there. And then also in Laverne on 24 in the westbound lanes right at Old Hickory Boulevard South exit 62, an accident also blocking the right lane. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Information fueled, opinion driven. This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
we talk news.
8:07 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. This is the headline from the Daily Mail. You ready? Because we all know that Joe and Mika, right? They went hat in hand going to see President-elect Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago. And everybody was thinking, why? Why would they do this? Could it be access? Could it be that they really want to be more bipartisan in their approach at MSNBC? Do they know that MSNBC very possibly could be sold? And this, they perhaps feel, is a way to save their jobs. Well, it could be this from the Daily Mail. Petrified, Morning Joe's real reason for meeting Trump revealed amid wild conspiracy theory into dead intern and fears over Gaetz-led retribution. So do you know the story of the intern there in Joe Scarborough, then Congressman Joe Scarborough's office? So there's, and I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory or not, because I don't really know a lot about the story. But as it goes, there was an intern who ended up dead in Joe Scarborough's congressional office. And the theory is that perhaps somehow he maybe was involved. So he was never, it's like a lot of other things. He was never charged. He was questioned as to what he knew about the intern, but he was never charged. So now, the hosts of Morning Joe, this is the story. The hosts of Morning Joe held their secret meeting with Donald Trump over fears the president-elect would allow Matt Gaetz to lead a probe into theories surrounding the 2001 death of a Joe Scarborough intern. Scarborough and his co-host wife, Mika Brzezinski, have faced a deluge of backlash after they revealed the Mar-a-Lago summit amid declining viewership on their beleaguered left-leaning, it isn't lean left, it's all the way left, program on MSNBC. Some called the recent Trump meeting a feeble attempt to bring in conservative viewers. But here's what's going on, they say. According to the Daily Mail, the pair are reportedly petrified of retribution and of Gaetz opening an investigation into Joe and the intern. They say that's what this was about, a source says, about the motive. It has nothing to do with ratings. It has nothing to do with Comcast. It's all about fear of retribution and investigation. Since 2020, Donald Trump has spread, they say, I don't know anything about the theories, but they say, this is how the Daily Mail reports it. In 2020, Donald Trump has spread unfounded theories that Scarborough allegedly had an affair with the intern and was responsible for her death. The 28-year-old intern worked in Scarborough's Florida congressional office when he served as a member of Congress, representing the same district in Florida as Matt Gaetz. She died on the floor of the office after she fell and hit her head. It was later revealed that she had an undiagnosed heart problem. The Morning Joe duo have worried ever since Alyssa Farah Griffith testified during the January 6th hearings that Gaetz was heavily interested in the long-debunked rumor, according to Puck. I could go on, but I think you get the idea. You think is there anything to that, John? You think they're scared that Gaetz is going to go after Joe Scarborough? I don't think so. There's so much going on. And, I mean, if that has been debunked a million times, and listen, I know it's going to happen. Johnny, you know what's going to happen too. I'm going to get hammered with all kinds of people with all kinds of theories about why Joe Scarborough killed that intern.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going down that road. Like, I have no idea what happened to Joe Scarborough's intern. It's no charges were filed, period. And no matter the theories that you may have, no matter what you've read, no matter what some person said somewhere, I don't know. My favorite is when somebody will send me a guy on YouTube that I've never heard of and that has 75 followers. And they'll say, look at this. This guy's right. Joe Scarborough killed her. It's like, I don't know if this guy's right or not. You know what I always say about conspiracy theories, and I say this all the time. Conspiracy theorists and conspiracy theorists are typically people that see things before anybody else. So I don't know. But I don't know anything about the Scarborough thing, but that's an interesting theory, is it not?
Oh, yeah. And it's been around for a while.
Oh, about the Scarborough thing with the intern?
Yeah.
Well, since it happened.
Yeah.
I think since it's happened.
I've been hearing about this for years.
Have you, Joan?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you were in D.C. when this happened, weren't you?
Was it when? What year is it? Does it give you a year?
Oh, you know what? It doesn't give you. Well,
I think it was before I was there.
No, you were in D.C. for a long time.
10 years.
Yeah.
10 long years.
And no, I'm not calling Joan old. By the way, Joan.
Yeah.
People want to nominate you for governor.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we're talking about.
I'd vote for her.
Well, well, Johnny, people want you to be governor too.
No, you don't.
I do have somebody put a little nugget into my head for me. So a confidential source that contacted me this morning said Congressman John Rose is running for governor.
I literally said that.
You did?
Yeah, you did.
It's okay. It's okay. I've done that too.
Okay.
Where it's like,
Hey, my source, you should have been paying attention.
Who's your source? I know who your source is. Your source is the same source as my source.
Who?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Is his initials MM?
Ah, it is. He's playing it.
Wow.
Matt Murphy.
Man,
No.
Like a chessboard.
No, Matt is trying to help both of us.
I see.
That's what it is. Matt's trying, and we love Matt Murphy.
Yes, we do.
So as I told him, I actually see it in the Tennessee Journal.
It's everywhere.
Called State Affairs. Yeah.
I was just going through names off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
Okay.
And there you go.
He says it's something that he's thinking about. He was just reelected to the 6th district.
Right.
And he says he's thinking about it.
Marsha Blackburn. Brian Wilson said, apparently I didn't hear this, but somebody said that Brian Wilson says that Senator Blackburn is going to run for governor. And I don't know if she would win a primary. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if she would win a primary. There's a lot of conservatives that are really angry with Marsha Blackburn.
Yeah.
So
I think if she would have run back after she had defeated the state income tax, she could have won handily then.
Well, she just won another term.
Yeah.
So what would she do? Step down and come run for governor, I guess? I mean, obviously, if that's what she wants to do, that's what she's going to do.
Yeah.
She's got name recognition. A lot of people do like Marsha Blackburn, but a lot of people also like some of the other names that we've thrown out, including that Glenn Jacobs, who was apparently on Gutfeld the other day.
Yeah.
So, people are like, my wife said Glenn Jacobs was on Gutfeld.
My husband.
Your husband said that Glenn Jacobs, Kane, was on Gutfeld, and they said that he was really good. See, I think Glenn Jacobs, I think he kind of fits. I don't know if there's a right way to say this, but I think he kind of fits the current sort of the mood of the Republican Party. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the mood of the Republican Party right now is, and we talked about this yesterday, it's a lot of swagger.
Yes.
There's a lot of, look what we did. You know, we won the popular vote and we won the Electoral College, and now people are saying, well, wait a minute. The popular vote, the votes are still being counted, and it's getting closer and closer. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they got more ballots in a Democratic trunk somewhere.
Well, look, it is November 21st, and they're still counting. And I'm sorry, and somebody said, Sally said, and I thank you, Sally, for the nice note on the super text line. Quit calling it hijinks and shenanigans. It's cheating. I know
Thank you.
I know it's cheating.
We
but
want her for governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want Sally for governor.
Well, just wait though. They'll finally win the popular vote in February.
Well, yeah, exactly. And by the way, I do use the term cheating as well. I use hijinks and shenanigans. I use cheating. I use all kinds of different terms, and the reason I do that is because I talk about this every day, and I want to vary at my terms. That's what I do, Sally. Sally doesn't want me for governor.
It's a host prerogative, Sally.
That's okay. In my defense, a couple of people did say yesterday when we were talking about this, they wanted me for governor. But also Matt Murphy was also wanted for governor as well. Nobody said Chris Hand, which I thought was interesting because Chris has a legion of fans.
Yes, he does.
He does, and he's got that, he's young.
Good family man.
Right.
Good family man.
Right.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't smell any kind of, any kind of BS on this guy.
The man has the most manicured beard I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, he does.
Chris
And
Hand.
eyebrows.
Does Chris have good eyebrows?
Yes, he does.
I've
really
never,
nice eyebrows.
I've never, oh, Lord. If Chris is sitting in the parking lot listening to this, I have never noticed Chris Hand's eyebrows.
You got to look today. You got to look.
This is going to be a really awkward gang of four.
Yes, it is, because you're going to be studying Chris's face.
I'm going to come in there and take a look.
Have you ever looked at my eyebrows, Joan?
I have, actually. The unibrow thing?
I don't have a unibrow. What is wrong with you? That's one thing I know that I don't have. You know why? Because
you pluck.
I'm a plucker.
You're a plucker?
I'm absolutely a plucker.
And you admit it?
You plucker.
Is there something wrong with admitting that you pluck your eyebrows?
Do you stand in front of like a mirror
and go ouch?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not pleasant.
No, it is not.
You don't use like a razor and shave?
It depends.
You pluck?
Are we really doing this? It depends on how long it gets, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like, if it's been a minute and I can effectively grab it with the pluckers,
right?
Then I'll just pull it out.
They're called tweezers.
Tweezers. Thank you, Joan.
Pluckers.
I prefer pluckers.
Oh, my goodness.
I got to be me, Joan. I got to be me.
Yeah.
Some of you are truckers. Dan's a plucker.
That's exactly right. And I'll just pluck them,
Do you go for the gray ones when they come in first?
Whatever one comes in.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't actually mind. Like, I got a lot of gray in my beard these days. I actually don't mind that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got that like older, dignified man look.
It does?
And then I start speaking and all that goes out the window.
You're so easy, Dan. Honestly. You make it easy.
I do, don't I?
Yeah.
Have we done traffic yet?
No, but we're way too late for it.
Are we? Joan, how's traffic?
Oh, you want me to do traffic?
Yeah, well, you know what? You're the reason we're running so late.
All that plucking.
All that plucking.
All the plucking talk. Yeah, that whole super talk thing, that doesn't apply to this segment.
Yeah. So, 24 westbound at Old Hickory Boulevard, there's an accident, blocks the right shoulder. That's all you need to know.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
24 and an accident.
Oh, I wonder if Chris is going to be here for the gang of four.
Oh, yeah.
Because I hope that his perfectly manicured eyebrows are not stuck in traffic.
Do you pluck in the car while you're driving or just at home?
No, I don't pluck in the car. I'm I'm not allowed to use my cell phone either in the car. I don't do that either.
No plucking in the car.
No plucking.
Okay. Want to know what's coming up in the news?
Please.
Okay, so the International Criminal Court is going after some big-time world leaders today. Also, a former Nashville high school coach is sitting in jail. We'll tell you why. All of that coming up at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey everybody, Dan Mandis from Nashville's Morning News. The Wall Street Journal reported a while ago that people are feeling stress, anxiety, and depression because of this election. If that's you, talk to my guy, Dr. Christopher Van Schenk. He is a psychiatrist out in Nolensville. Now, he can help you with not only depression, if you're feeling it because of politics or whatever, but he can also help you with alcoholism, drug abuse as well. Go to his website, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. He's got a long list of conditions that he can help you with, either in person or at telehealth. Bottom line is, he wants to make it as easy as possible for you to get the help that you need. He can help your kids as well. Check him out online. Again, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. The number's below. Thanks for listening, and good luck.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
.826, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Johnny, I'm going to do Loan Pronto here because I love Loan Pronto. Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in just days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Listen up, homeowners. Dan Mandis here indeed. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home's equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, and no waiting. Loan Pronto's all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. Now, one client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto right now, mention me, and see how much money you can qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Don't wait. Get your cash fast and call right now. 615-499-5780. 615-499-5780. You can find them online. It is loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781 on approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org. .828, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Appreciate you listening. The Super Text line is on fire. No, of course.
En fuego.
En fuego. 4515 says the plucking comment was as bad as jorts and Crocs. TB is calling me a mother plucker.
Wow.
Somebody says they wax their nostrils.
Wax?
Wax.
Can you do that? Wax your, I've heard of this before, waxing nostrils, but I don't know if that's like a real thing or not. People say they pluck in their cars. So see, look, it's not just me.
So do you know what it's called when you're putting on your makeup in the car?
Dumb. Besides that,
there's a literal word for it.
What's the word?
Farting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Farting?
Farding.
Farting.
But if you say it fast enough, you kind of.
Yeah.
Why do they call it farting?
I don't know.
Oh. Does it have like a root word somewhere?
Hold on, I'm looking.
Okay. I mean, we would never say that you should do that because that is extraordinarily dangerous.
AI says farting is a verb that means to apply makeup to the face. For example, you might say that a woman's farting to describe somebody putting on makeup in their car.
They need to come up with another word. Be honest with you. All right. So is that illegal? Is it illegal in Tennessee to use your phone while you're driving, but is it legal to put on makeup?
Well, somebody just said it. It's called reckless driving. That was 2587 just said that. And that's what they would get you on. If they see you putting your makeup on in the car, they would give you a reckless driving ticket.
Well, I remember a sales
I've been pulled
girl.
over.
I remember a sales girl that worked at a radio station. She had a brand new Porsche, and it was just demolished on the front end. I asked her what happened. She goes, I was putting on lipstick.
You know what? At least she admitted it.
Yeah, she did.
At least she copped to it.
Yeah.
All right, got to go. 8:30, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
8:30 now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The International Criminal Court issuing arrest warrants today for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his former defense minister Yoav Gallant, and a senior Hamas leader as well, accusing them all of war crimes during and after the October 7th attacks. The Prime Minister's office dismissed the warrants as absurd and anti-Semitic. A former Nashville high school coach has surrendered to police charged with statutory rape. 32-year-old Tyler Ford is accused of having multiple sexual encounters with a 17-year-old Donaldson Christian Academy student 4 years ago. He was a coach at the school. Police began their investigation in September when that former student came forward. In Spring Hill, a 19-year-old riding a bicycle was struck and killed by a large passenger bus last evening. This happened on Campbell Station Parkway, west of Main Street. Police were able to say that 19-year-old was a resident of Spring Hill, but they have not made a formal ID. An investigation into the circumstances of that crash is underway. The CMAs handed out last night at Bridgestone Arena, and Chris Stapleton was the big winner of the night, taking home 3 of his 5 nominations, including Male Vocalist of the Year, as well as both Single of the Year and Song of the Year for his song White Horse.
All my kids at home, thank you. I love you guys. If you're watching, you go to bed now.
Right to bed with you. Morgan Wallen was nominated in 7 categories, the most of any artist this year, but he only took home 1 award, Entertainer of the Year. Despite being the top award of the night, Wallen was absent from the ceremony. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. So let's see, 24 westbound lanes still there at Old Hickory Boulevard, an accident that blocks the right shoulder. And then 24 eastbound side, this is right at I-65 North. There's an accident and the right shoulder's blocked there too. And an accident blocking the right lane on 40 in the eastbound lanes. That one this morning just taken off the screen, so I guess that's not really an issue anymore. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.836, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I think that ding-ding that we heard, right at the end of the last commercial break, I think that ding-ding was the sound from the bosses here that are telling us that we're running late for breaks. I think that's what that is. Just a gentle little reminder.
Back to content.
Mandis, you went to traffic at 8:19. We tend to frown upon that in the radio game. Anyway, time for the Gang of Four.
As long as the hotline's not ringing, we're okay.
Yeah. Hotline doesn't work, Joan.
Just says, I don't know how the last boss was running this place, but around here.
It's time for the Gang of Four. Joan Jones is here. Johnny B's here. I'm here. Chris is here.
You're not going to introduce my eyebrows?
Come on,
So you do. So Chris, of course, now those are some pretty.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean?
Those are some well-coiffed eyebrows.
Yeah, they are. I appreciate the flowers, guys. Thank you.
I want my lawn to look as good as your eyebrows.
Yes.
All right.
See,
this is as awkward as I thought that it would be.
No, it's not awkward.
I'm not surprised that nobody wants me for governor. People are afraid to have the real conversations. Like, are birds real? What about that phone call from the moon? You know, Murphy's
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Not a fan.
Statue of Liberty, waste of tax dollars.
Not a fan.
Murphy said to me yesterday during our cross, we were going back and forth. He goes, nothing you say makes me mad. Except for when you get going on the moon. I got to be honest. When you get going on the moon, I get a little annoyed.
That's funny. You were talking about what you want to do around Christmas time.
Yes. All right. So I had a segment idea for around Christmas where I'm going to make people. I'm going to bring the kids in. I'm going to bring my two oldest in at one day or 2 days, and then we're going to do underrated Christmas movie plus a conspiracy theory you believe in.
So
I asked Dan, what's a conspiracy theory you believe in? You're not going to believe. Let's let you two tell me what you think Dan's conspiracy theory he believes in is.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Ooh.
It's a good one.
It is a good one, but it's a tough one.
If Dan believed in a conspiracy theory, which one do you think it would be?
Everybody's out to get him.
That's not a conspiracy theory.
Dan believes in. Dan's in on gang stalking. He's being gang stalked.
I believe that Bigfoot might actually be a thing. Oh. That's number one.
All right.
Number two, I believe that there were more than one shooters with JFK, which I don't think is that a conspiracy theory. I think that's kind of a.
I think those are those are
Bigfoot's
easy ones.
Those are accepted conspiracy.
Yeah, because we all know
Bigfoot. Is Bigfoot accepted?
Have you heard the story of the giant of Kandahar, the Bigfoot that they encountered in Iraq?
No.
You've never gone down that rabbit hole?
No.
It's a fun one, especially if you're a Bigfoot guy.
Really?
You should look it up. I might be butchering it a bit, but there's this story that during the last Iraq war that they encountered a Bigfoot in the mountains there.
Wow.
It's all over the internet. You guys haven't heard that?
No.
Oddly enough, no. Have not heard it.
Some Bigfoot guy you are.
Yeah.
Me and Bigfoot isn't passing. Johnny, Joan, do you guys have a conspiracy theory you believe in?
Yeah, I believe the CIA and the mafia did JFK in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know
I
what?
get that.
With Trump going into office, he says he's going to release all those tapes.
Let's go.
All the files.
Bring them.
And if he does, I think we'll find that the CIA was also involved in the attempts on President Trump's life.
I would agree with that.
I love the thought of Dan Bongino. Did you hear this? Dan Bongino for head of Secret Service.
Yes.
He needs to figure out, he needs to drill down and figure out what in the world happened.
Yes.
I just don't know why he would give up a highfalutin gig that he's got in the podcast and all that other stuff. I mean, it's a calling, I guess, to work for the government again and for Donald Trump.
I love how they're framing it, though, that he has no experience. He has another media personality with no experience.
Donald Trump wants a talk show host to be the head of Secret Service. It's like, are you kidding? That's what they do.
Also, I misspoke on that Bigfoot. It was Afghanistan, not Iraq, before you go down your rabbit hole.
Oh, okay. Well, there's probably going to be one now with Iraq, too.
There will be.
We can just go ahead and fix that and make something up.
I wanted to clear it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Bongino would be a great head of Secret Service because he has been extremely critical of them. For folks who don't know, I mean, Bongino was a cop, Secret Service. I think, was he in the military too?
No.
I don't know if he was in
No.
He was not in the military? Okay.
But he was Secret Service for like a decade.
Oh, yeah. He was Secret Service for,
President Obama's detail, his personal detail.
To be fair, I mean, the people we have running Secret Service now used to work at Pepsi, right? Wasn't that the last Secret Service director? What was her name? She got fired?
Yes.
Oh, I forget now.
Cheadle.
Cheadle.
Kim Cheadle. That's exactly.
Yeah, she used to work at Pepsi.
Exactly right.
So let's not knock the qualifications.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because, and I know this is well-worn territory, so it's almost not even worth mentioning, but I will. The same people that are screaming, "Oh, he's not qualified. Oh, she's not qualified," thought that Buttigieg, a mayor of a small town in Indiana, was qualified to be transportation secretary. So it's just the media's absurdity is on full display.
Yes,
absolutely full display. Chris, we should have done this off the air, but Chris, you got anything for this?
I'm lost in the Bigfoot super text. Just for the record, the super text line's going ham on Bigfoot.
Was 9/11 an inside job? No, yeah. I don't believe it was. But
I have serious questions about 9/11.
Okay. Well,
I think that's okay to have.
Somebody says bingo, Joan, but we don't know what it was. You think Bigfoot's real?
It wouldn't shock me. Nothing would shock me.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that Bigfoot. I think there's stuff in the ocean. You ever see like what's in the ocean?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
There's an entire world down in the ocean.
We will never know. We will never know the depths of the ocean that we can't reach. You'll never know.
You guys like Hollow Earth? Have you heard the Hollow Earth theories?
Oh.
No.
Okay, dive into
what is it?
Hollow
Like
Earth.
The Earth is hollow?
There's like an Earth under the Earth. That's fun.
Okay. You know what's so funny, though?
I love the guy that's he's over here like, I believe I could see Bigfoot. I could see sea monsters. Have you heard of Hollow Earth? Wow. Come on, guy. Get real.
You know what?
Wow. We have somebody that says, 6184, that says he's actually had encounters, a number of interactions with Bigfoot.
A number of interactions?
Yes.
Not just one.
A number of interactions. Had some fantastic encounters in Alabama recently.
Yes, I can believe that.
So I want to.
There's some stuff that scares you in Alabama.
I want to make sure we have this right. So nobody can prove the actual existence of Bigfoot, but this super texter has had several occasions to hang out with Bigfoot.
In Alabama.
Yep.
In Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably down there in Wagufka.
Is he like it? Okay, here's what I want to know. Joan, keep an eye on the last four. Is he a Bigfoot hunter?
He says that he has. I'm gonna do the search that he said to do just to see. Yeah, there's.
I want to point out that the overwhelming majority of our super texters are all in on Bigfoot.
Are they?
We're a pro Bigfoot audience.
Well, my brother-in-law strongly believes that Bigfoot is real.
Oh, this guy has the Sasquatch Chronicles. Yes.
I love it.
He has. Yes.
My father-in-law, Amy's father, is all about Bigfoot, man. He is all about it. So I'll send him articles and stuff on Bigfoot. I think one time I sent him an article just to like troll him because it was an article that was debunking Bigfoot. And so I sent that to him, and I don't think he liked it.
That's hilarious.
All that much.
3581 said Alabama Bigfoot, guaranteed no teeth.
Oh, that's just terrible.
Ruthless.
Well, listen, I know Bigfoot exists because he was in those beef jerky commercials.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Every time they have one of these, though, you know, there'll be an investigation, and it was a guy on the side of the road with a big, costume on, and he takes off the top, and, he's inside.
And he has big shoes.
Yeah.
Well, the original Bigfoot video from way back when, we've all seen it. There's a tag on his suit.
Yeah.
There's a tag on the suit?
Yes. You haven't seen that?
I've never seen the tag on the suit.
Yeah. It's down by the hip.
It's dangling?
I don't know if it's dangling, but it's there.
Are we sure it's a tag?
Made in China.
All right. Does anybody else have anything to say on this, or can we move on?
Very well.
Asking about what's dangling on Bigfoot, I think that we're not going to be able to.
We've jumped the
top
shark.
That. Yes.
Last time on Mandis in the Morning. What's that dangling on Bigfoot? Get all your news
was
and
it a
information
tag
here.
or wasn't it?
Information fueled, opinion driven.
Or do you call it a tag?
The broken hotline is working now, and it's flashing.
Oh, man. You ever been actually hotlined?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys
Oh,
have?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What were you doing when you were getting? So for people that don't know, being hotlined is the program director calling the hotline into the studio to tell you to stop it.
I played a David Allan Coe song, "Divers Do It Deeper," and said that will be the last time you'll play that.
What's that song about?
No,
It's your imagination, Dan.
it's a love song.
That was right around the time that they stopped letting the DJs pick the records, right?
Yes, it was. I was the culprit.
Joan, radio stories. Have you? What have you been hotlined? If you have ever been hotlined?
We did. So I was doing a show in Philadelphia, a very popular morning show, and we did a kind of a bit about how McDonald's just came out with this new hamburger that has 4 patties, and we said it was like one burger for each chamber of the heart, and. The general manager hotlined us and said, they're one of our advertisers and you need to stop that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Now, did you stop?
No.
Based.
I mean, it wasn't me.
And then Joan ended up working in Washington, D.C. instead of Philadelphia.
And by the way, the guy that hotlined me, Jerry Minshall. He was the music director.
Jerry Minshall?
Yeah, he.
Oh, wow.
He was I think music director / program director.
For long time listeners of WTN, Jerry, legendary news anchor, was here at WTN for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
When were you hotline, Chris?
Mine was also an advertiser thing. I was trying to sound local in Pittsburgh. So we were talking about brands of something because it was a hot AC morning show. So it was like you could never talk about real topics like we do, like Bigfoot or eyebrows,
yes,
or who should be the governor. But so we were talking about some sort of brand, and I said, no, it wasn't the cheap brand. We're not talking the Giant Eagle brand. We're talking this brand,
good
and that's a
job.
big Pennsylvania grocery chain. And it was, hey, I know you're trying to sound local, but you're going to lose one of our biggest advertisers. So please
All right,
don't.
there you go.
Yeah,
I've actually got 2.
Wow.
I know, right? Number one, I was on a radio station, and they were the lead affiliate, I guess, of the Denver Broncos, KOA. And I thought it would be a really good idea one Saturday morning to go on the air and complain about their rising ticket prices. Now, to be honest, it was a really slow news day, and they wanted me to be local, so I was doing something local.
there you go.
Yep. They didn't like that very much, and I think there was a big game on the next day, I think, too. So, yeah, that didn't – so I got hotlined, and I said to the program director, who had actually called my cell phone, and I said, but I've got full lines. And all these people that wanted to call and start complaining about the Broncos and their raising of their ticket prices. And the other one, and looking back, that was a really extraordinarily dumb thing to do.
Well, yeah, no, they shouldn't be raising prices.
That's exactly right. Exactly. Well, they were in the playoffs. That was part of it. Anyway, moving right along. The other one.
Dan's like, if you look at last week when it was just regular season versus this week, it doesn't make any sense. they're price gouging.
Although how terrible they are this year. I mean, I can imagine people are like, really, you raised prices, 15 years ago, whatever it was. I was working for a radio station, music station, Pirate Radio in Los Angeles. And unbeknownst to me, they had kind of sort of adjusted the music a little bit. They went from like more of a classic rock kind of thing to more hair bandy kind of stuff. Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Ozzy. And so I came up short in an hour. I'm running a remote. And so I'm come up 4 minutes short. So what do? In my brilliant wisdom,
oh boy,
I figured I'd go ahead and grab a song that I like. I had no idea, really, that they had kind of changed the focus of the radio station. So I went from Motley Crue, Ozzy, Kiss back without the makeup, all that kind of stuff, into Aaliyah by Donnie Iris.
Ooh, not a smooth transition.
That hotline rang within 30 seconds of that song starting. And now every time I hear Aaliyah by Donnie Iris, I think back to when the song that I shouldn't have played. And amazingly enough, I didn't get fired from either one.
Amanda's memory.
Amanda's memory. That's exactly right. Actually, I outlasted the PD in that one.
Isn't that always fun?
That's always that's the goal.
Yeah, outlast the PD.
Especially the PD says, you'll never work in this business again.
Yes. Outlasting the PD, just ask everyone here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Moving right along.
Nailed it.
Very well.
Did you see Ellen DeGeneres left for England?
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. Thank you, Donald Trump.
The rumors are, though, that she left beforehand, right? She didn't actually move because of Trump. She already had the house.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Have you heard those rumors?
Yes.
No, I didn't know because I try to pay as little attention to Ellen DeGeneres as I can, actually.
People are saying that once the local English find out that she's a fan of Meghan Markle, that she's not going to have a good time anymore.
They don't like Meghan Markle out there.
No.
I still like Tom Homan's ex tweet this morning when he said, she's leaving America. You're welcome, America.
Yeah,
you're welcome, America. Isn't that great?
Eva Longoria also moved her family out.
Oh, she did she?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was England. I'm not sure exactly where she's gone, but yeah, she's out.
Oh.
They're making good on it.
We'll see you.
Elon, very quickly, give me a yes or no on this because we're running late. Elon Musk wants to meet Alex Soros, George Soros' son, to understand his goals after comparing his billionaire dad, George, to an X-Men villain.
Yeah, I heard that.
And now MAGA Nation is like, Elon, don't meet him. Don't meet him. Don't meet with the enemy. So, Chris, should Elon meet with Alex Soros?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Johnny?
I agree, yeah.
Joan?
Without a doubt.
Absolutely. Know your enemy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what
Keep
you need
close.
to do.
And who on the right has been able to sit down for a conversation with the Soros? And Alex is up next. George is fading away very quickly.
Yes, he is.
So,
yes.
Alex is married too?
Isn't it Huma Abedin?
Yes,
Huma
it is.
Abedin.
Yes.
Can you believe that?
Boy, there's your
Anthony
power
Weiners.
couple.
Yeah.
Well, she did marry that, or she did like that other guy. What was
Anthony
his name?
Weiner.
Anthony
Weiner.
Weiner.
She was married to him. They have a child.
Yeah, whatever happened to all those files that Anthony Weiner had on his computer that said
Yeah.
insurance
Sure
about
know.
Hillary Clinton? Remember that?
Chris, what's coming up next? We got to go,
We
man.
got memory a little quick. Today on the show, 10:05, Jeff Younger. He had his 2 children taken away from him by the state of California. They are now in custody with their mother, who is going to trans one of the kids. We're going to talk to Jeff about his story at 10:05, plus the reaction from some of these picks. And James Comer saying that he's going to create an oversight board for Doge. Do you like that, or do you dislike that?
All right. Are you asking me?
I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know anything about the story.
It's rhetorical.
Oh, got
man.
it. Okay. Very good. Well, you know what? You can ask Senator Bill Haggerty next time we have him on, because he might be Secretary of the Treasury.
I'm still waiting to hear back from Senator Haggerty's people.
8:54 on Nashville's Morning News on, well, Chris, 8:54 on WTN. So many reasons to like my two-way paradise. Chris didn't get the joke, but I did.
A little late, yeah.
I got it.
Was it a little late? All right.
But you were rushing us. You were rushing us out of here because we were running behind.
We are, because I don't want to get in trouble. So many reasons. So moving on. So many reasons to
moving right along.
Hotline.
Can I read my commercial?
Hotline's ringing. You're running late, Dan. You got to.
People are going to be like, okay, what are the reasons to like your two-way paradise, the Glock store? Well, number one, it's a great place to buy guns and ammo. You can get your firearms customized, and also, of course, the training. They've got these massive rooms where, yes, you can refine your shooting skills, behind corners, in the dark, in motion, various target levels as well. So don't settle for lane ranges. They're lame. Go to the Shoot 270 indoor ranges at the Glock store. These folks, of course, are partners with WTN. This is where I do all my training, and I love the Glock store. So check them out online, shoot270.com. All your firearms and your training needs, shoot270.com. Check them out online for all kinds of videos and pictures as well of their amazing training facilities, minutes from the airport. And